By City Suburban. We at City Suburban have converted hundreds of customers to green energy to heat and cool their home. And we can do the same for you. Now is the best time with the New York State Clean Heat Energy Program, where you can save up to $12,000 while funds are available on your water furnace geothermal system, plus a 30% federal tax credit. They say go green. We say go Geo.
Hi, this is Chris from City Suburban. There's never been a better time than ever to go green. With the New York State Clean Heat Energy rebates and federal tax credit, you can save thousands on the installation, plus save for years to come on energy costs. And like always, every installation comes with City Suburban's POMG. That's peace of mind guaranteed. Call us today at 853-3899. That's 853-3899. Or visit us at citysuburban.com for more information.
Identity theft shows no signs of slowing down. In fact, more than $29 billion were stolen last year alone. That's a criminal success story and a wake-up call for everyone else. It can be dangerously easy to steal your identity. LifeLock makes it easy to help protect yourself if you become a victim. A dedicated U.S.-based restoration specialist will work to fix it. Join now and save up to 25% your first year with my name, Clay, as your promo code at LifeLock.com, promo code Clay.
It's time to start the program. It's time to earn our pay. It's time to meet the people on the Keeler Show today. It's time to read the news and weather. Time to figure out what to say. It's time to turn the channel of the Keeler Show today. Why do we always listen? Keeler's always in the know. It makes me want to call him and tell him where to go. And now let's get things started. Andrew, let's get things started. It's time to get things started. On the most sensational, inspirational, celebrational, Keelerational. This is what we call the Keeler Show.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
I just, when I saw yesterday we were going to be at 87, you can only laugh, and then you look at the temperatures for next week, and you can only laugh. But, wow, beautiful weather and more beautiful weather to come. Enjoy it while you can. Last night, it's kind of like watching a football game with your favorite team, and the win happens. You know, maybe it's the Giants, and you're saying enjoy it while you can, because years like this can come around. Man, there was some stinking up the field last night.
Yeah, so
I mean, they couldn't even make it close. I thought it would. I really felt like there's so much to prove, right?
Yeah. Well, the Giants now fall to 1-3. This is a complete mess. I'll say this: I like Brian Daboll, and I know that Saquon Barkley is hurt. Did he play last night? I'm a huge Giants fan. I didn't see a single snap.
I watched just a little bit.
I did not see a single snap. I've been under the weather. Fortunately, I was able to sleep. I slept all afternoon. I got up. I came in here. I put the log in for the game. Went home, planned to watch the game. As soon as I sat down, I fell right back asleep because, again, I felt like trash. So I didn't see a lick of it. I got up this morning, and I just quickly glanced at my phone and went, oh, okay, well, I'm glad I missed that game.
Let's talk about, if we could, this abduction. I had no more.
One more thing, though. Richard, if you saw something last night, I didn't see the game, so I can't even argue with you. If you saw something last night that tells you that Daniel Jones is a good quarterback, please let me know, and I'll go back and watch the film.
The abduction of this young girl, this 9-year-old girl from Gansevoort. Of course, it happened Saturday night around 6:45. She took a ride on her bicycle. Boy, and the story I wrote last night, before we found out that she had been, and it's funny, it was on NBC News that she was still missing. By 7 o'clock, though, the story was beginning to filter out from inside that she had been found. The story so mirrored Sarah Ann Wood.
Riding the bicycle.
It was so similar. Riding the bike. The parents went looking for her, found the bike, no girl. And the search began. The Amber Alert, the huge search. I'm not sure it had anything to do with it, but it had to help put the pressure on, right? Knowing that people in Vermont, people in Massachusetts, people in New York had created a perimeter, and they were on the lookout for anything.
Yeah.
Sadly, though, we had no evidence whatsoever, even in the Sarah Ann Wood case, if you recall. It was, people had talked about maybe seeing a van, but that was very vague. There were really no witnesses, and it wasn't until Lewis Lent was caught for another crime, another abduction, that the confession came that he had also abducted and killed Sarah Ann Wood. So the similarities were just so close. It just brought back, for a lot of people here, brought back some really bad memories.
In fact, we got a message on the app that said, please don't bring up the Sarah case. I think it was some people who were remembering how you felt at that time. And
I don't know how you don't. But here's to me, my takeaway is the positive of this is that I really feel that if there's anything that could have come out of Sarah Ann Wood, that horrible story, it was the advancement of the Ride for Missing, or the actual creation of the Ride for Missing Children, the Missing and Exploited organization that came out of that. But this Amber Alert, there's been so much focus on abductions and children being abducted that we have now this Amber Alert that I think plays a huge role in immediately getting people on board and saying, okay, let's be on the lookout. If you see anything, you make a phone call. So with all of that said, I'm not sure that played that much of a role because it seemed like whoever this abductor is wanted to extort money from the family. I mean, there was a ransom note. The governor released that last night, and she also said that it was the ransom note that had fingerprints.
Beautiful.
And that is what led police to find this
Craig
little
Ross,
girl.
I believe his name is.
And she's safe. Wow.
A beautiful thing. Thank God for the stupidity of a lot of criminals that get them caught. And in this particular case, the guy left a fingerprint on the ransom note. They were able to track him down. Now, is my understanding he had a camp or a camper near that location?
Yeah, and was a postal worker, I believe.
Oh, really?
I believe so.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what I'm hearing. So,
so he's got a good job, right?
So,
you make good money, don't you?
I understand it, and you're right. It's had he not though sent this note, it could have ended very, very badly.
Right.
But maybe he never had any intention of hurting the girl. But it's okay to abduct her. It just is a sense. We'll learn more today.
Yeah.
But it's horrific when you think about it. But at the end of the day, this one ends well, and that's pretty awesome. I don't think any of us expected this to end well by Monday night.
Right.
I mean, Sunday you're thinking, Monday night you're like, wow, we still haven't found this child. This is bad. So great ending.
Thank goodness, yeah.
Yeah.
And would they say that he was hiding her in a cabinet of the trailer? I mean, I hope this girl's okay. I'm sure she's got some maybe psychological issues.
Well, there's going to be some
counseling and stuff, yeah.
There's going to be, I can't imagine what this child was going through. She's 9 years old. Nonetheless, all ends well. As the governor said, and I thought this was a weird way to put it, right after she had been found, the governor was on TV. And by the way, she went to the site of the search so that she could help. I didn't quite understand that. It reminded me of Cuomo. Every time there was a disaster, where was Cuomo? He was at the disaster. Don't anybody do anything until I'm there.
Do you remember him pulling up the there was a flood not far from here. The area was flooded, and there was the photo of him pulling a woman up over the hill to get her out of her house or something like that. But, yeah, he always had to be on the spot. There's some real human element to that. It's a good thing that they want to get involved and help.
I guess.
But I don't know that the governor has any expertise in search techniques or strategy here.
Her answer was, listen, she was abducted in a state park. That's our facility. I felt it was important for me to be there to show support.
Silly.
And to,
I think it's a stupid justification.
Well, I think it's the best justification she's going to have. And the other part is that, it's a little girl. I can't wait to see her and give her a big hug. But at the end of the day, I really feel that this is nothing more than an opportunity to better your approval ratings. And these things tend to backfire. So, I certainly, listening to her interview, I certainly didn't buy it. And when asked the question why she felt it to be important there, and I give the reporter credit for even asking that question, I felt that she kind of stumbled through that answer.
I mean, if it was, the justification being because it was a state park. Now, listen, what if it happened in Utica? Would she be like in front of the press conference, we expect Mayor Palmieri to put his boots on and go looking for the girl? Like, who cares? It's the state. It's your state.
I disagree with that because I do think that it's our park. We have security there. We have rangers there. It's their job to keep people safe. So I hate to say this, but I think it was the one element of her excuse that I actually was like, okay, I'll give you that. The rest of it, I didn't buy, but it depends on your taste, I guess.
Okay.
So, and how you might perceive it. Yesterday, and by the way, as a postal worker, this is Mike. I assume he mailed the letter. Well, he kind of did. He dropped it, and it was according to what we're hearing, it was the fingerprints that actually gave him away, and the fact that what about that guy who lives in his camper? Right? That had to be a part of it. You start looking around and thinking, who could it have been?
Right.
Who would have known there's a little girl going to be probably riding by on a bicycle? Mike says, the way my mail is sometimes, they're lucky they didn't get it 3 weeks late. Okay. We can't. Today, it's listen, all's well that ends well was her line that I thought was not necessarily applicable, but Mike, it's the next day, and all's well that ends well.
Okay.
All right.
No
Fair
more
enough.
abduction jokes.
Okay. And yesterday, I don't know if you heard on Jimmy's show, it wasn't Davey that Jimmy was talking to or talking about. He was speaking to Ellen from Utica. Or maybe not from Utica, but Ellen listens on WIBX to Jimmy. She is a Republican and says she is not voting for Trump. I don't know how many Ellens.
Smart woman.
I don't know how many Ellens there are out there, but she is one of them. And Jimmy has been extremely critical of Trump, saying, I think Jimmy's take is probably the same as mine. Don't you think it's time to move on from both of these guys?
Yes.
We need a little fresh blood, a little blood that's flowing. And certainly Trump seems to be far more active than Biden. But the problem I have is if you could find some middle ground. Trump's too active. Biden's not active enough. A little middle ground between the two of them, I think we could handle it. Anyway, Jimmy was all about the big show coming up on Veterans Day. And it is Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy, the Laughs and Liberty Tour, coming to the Stanley Theater on November 11th, Veterans Day. Tickets are available by reaching out to Ticketmaster, and it is going to be a great show. Go to Ticketmaster.com and search for Jimmy Fallon, Failla, and the Laughs and Liberty Tour. Also, through River Hills Properties, buy a ticket for a vet, a hero's ticket. Give the gift of comedy to a local veteran, Veterans Day, by picking up a pair of tickets for a veteran. Call the box office at the Stanley and say, I want heroes tickets. They'll set those tickets aside and give them to a veteran through the veterans organizations, which will determine veterans who are in need who would like to go to the show. The Laughs and Liberty Tour with Jimmy Fallon and Kennedy. The box office at the Stanley is 315-724-4000. Bill and Robin Monjo came up with this idea because the show is on Veterans Day. And it's kind of cool. If you just want tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com, or you can always purchase them right there at the Stanley box office. But Jimmy was all about it. Spoke to him a bit yesterday. He's excited about coming up, and he will be on air. As he said, I'll come on the air Friday. Just check with Davey. So I don't know what that means, Davey, but is it okay for him to come on Friday?
He didn't say check with Davey.
That's what he said.
He did?
He did.
Okay, he has my permission.
Okay, all right. Okay. Well, there we go. So Jimmy will be on Friday morning. 87 degrees Thursday. Are you stinking kidding me?
That's what it says
It
here.
is
I'm
gonna
on the
be.
National Weather Service website for confirmation. It says Wednesday, patchy fog before 9 a.m., otherwise sunny with a high near 87. Now, keep in mind, Wednesday 87, Sunday 55. That's a 32-degree drop.
That's the overnight low, 55?
No, that is the afternoon high.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I think the question, if you watch Monday Night Football, the big question on everybody's mind
Columbus
today.
Day's high is 52.
If you watched Monday Night Football last night, I think the question for everybody today is what kind of gum does Pete Carroll chew? Because, man, that guy aggressively and sloppily and unpolite and impolite fashion just gnaws on that gum. And he had to get new gum at halftime because he had to have worn out the gum he was chewing in the first half.
Yeah, I think he calls that gum Daniel Jones because he wore out Danny Jones last night, too.
Yeah.
You know, I always wondered, too, why Andrew always had a problem with Pete Carroll, and it's because
It's the gum chewing.
It's the gum chewing, yeah. That
He
drives
hates
Andrew nuts.
chomping and chewing and that sort of thing. He hates that. Jimmy Fallon, the late shows were back last night. And they were all...
What's his face have a beard? In all of his promos, he had a beard. Jimmy Fallon.
They were all over Trump and all over that Brobert there in Colorado.
Lauren Boebert.
Yeah. Whatever.
Boebert, whatever.
And Gates, all over him. And, of course, all over President Trump, who was out yesterday giving interviews, of course, after his appearance in court where he brought in McDonald's food. And he's got this stare that he had on his, and he's using it now. I feel like somebody must be in his ear saying, give the mean stare. It's the
Trump?
stare. It's the stare on his mugshot. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's just, to me, so far over the top. I mean, you got to let the stare go.
So I initially thought, you had said that you thought that was planned and they had orchestrated that.
Oh.
And I disagreed with you. And then it's on T-shirts, it's on coffee mugs.
It was in the courtroom yesterday, and it's like, enough is enough with the stare. I mean, how do you eat McDonald's food and still have that stare? I don't know how he did it. It was just there's a great talent there. Anyway, one thing I did find is that as Jimmy Fallon was going after Donald Trump and other right-wing conservatives who are trying to shut down the government and so far have not succeeded and now want to oust McCarthy. One thing Jimmy didn't talk about was the workplace environment. Do you remember that story?
What
do you remember just a few weeks ago, the big story came out that Jimmy Fallon was...
Oh.
Do you remember this story?
I don't.
Oh, how do you not remember this story? This
I
was
don't.
a huge story.
I stay clear of all that left-wing trash.
Well, we kind of talked a lot about it, but either way, people said the environment at the... So I'll refresh everybody because you're probably not alone. People on the current and former employees said the work environment was so bad they had to seek therapy, that Jimmy is so mean to them that the environment there is how they get comedy out of that. They have no idea, because writers would write a joke and Jimmy would like scream at them about it, and then all of a sudden, this is Jimmy Fallon, not Fela. All of a sudden, he'd use the joke anyway, and they're like, we didn't understand it. So these were current and past employees.
Wow.
Now, with that said, Fallon came out and sent out, if you recall, he sent out a message to all employees apologizing for his behavior, but he did not do that on the Late Show or on the Tonight Show last night. No mention of that whatsoever.
Well, it's an odd thing, and this happens sometimes. They claim us with Ellen, right?
Yeah.
Where
Same thing with Ellen.
And I find
the
it interesting.
The intensity is just so intense that they just can't help themselves.
The thing I find ironic is because their persona on television is laughy, and they're so giggly.
Wonderful.
And they're like almost childlike in how playful and delicate. And
you say to yourself, wow, that must be a fun place to work.
Or an odd place to work.
Or an odd place.
Yeah, but when the camera's off, they're like cracking the whip.
Terrible. And but he mentioned nothing of that last night, and I kind of think it is it's a comedy show. It's meant to be happy, but I almost feel like you gotta kind of put the maybe make a couple of jokes about it. Maybe what would be kind of nice, I think, would be to say to the writers, all right, tonight's your night. Have at it with me.
Yes.
And then I have
turn it into a
I don't
positive.
care what joke it is that you write. I got to read it.
Yep.
And he opens up by saying, I'm so bad.
Yep.
How bad are you? I'm so bad that when an employee walks in the room, da-da-da-da, I don't know what. But that would have been acknowledging it, giving the writers a chance to. It wouldn't have been him making fun of it. It would have been them putting him in an awkward position to have to read this stuff. And none of that. And maybe there will be down the road. I don't know. Maybe you're better off just ignoring it. Maybe that's what the consultants are saying. Don't say a word about it. Stay quiet on it. I don't know. But for me, I think he should have at least referenced it. Give the writers the chance to have their fun.
I completely agree with you, Bill. I completely agree.
I'll never forget the time. I'll never forget the time I walked in the room and my kid said that she hated me. Remember that? Commercial. No, I'll never forget the time though that we had on the Christmas show. Scott McNamara, the DA, and he read I don't know. It was supposed to be a 5-minute bit. It went on for 20 minutes. I think he was making stuff up. He read mean tweets about me.
Yeah,
and they were all, by the way, real things people had sent in. That was fun. A little self-deprivation is,
Deprivation. Now that's your diet. That's your diet. The deprivation is diet. The deprecation is the.
Either way, there you go. See, I gave you one right there on a silver platter. Tanya J. Powers is standing by on the line right now. Tanya, good morning. A little deprivation of time here this morning. We hate to make you wait.
What show are y'all talking about?
I felt Jimmy Fallon on the Tonight Show should have at least referenced, the bad work environment. And I thought it would have been cool if he said to the writers, hey,
have at it.
I got to read this stuff. You have at it. I'm going to go at it. But they didn't poke any fun at it at all and completely ignored it. I don't know.
I missed that one. I didn't see it, so I don't know. But that's interesting.
Hunter Biden is scheduled to appear in a federal court in Wilmington today, where he's expected to enter a plea to the firearms charges. I would expect there'll be no McDonald's order on this one, but that is expected today. What do we know, Tanya?
The McDonald's order?
Well, that was. I'm sorry about all these references. Trump yesterday, while in court, ordered out, and they delivered huge bags of McDonald's food into the courtroom while he was appearing in front of the judge yesterday. So that's where the McDonald's food comes from.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it was quite the sight and quite the spectacle. Hunter Biden won't be doing that, I can't imagine, but he'll be entering a plea on these firearms charges. What do we know on this?
Mm-hmm. He is expected to plead not guilty, according to his lawyer. He is accused of falsifying a federal firearms application, lying to a licensed gun dealer and possessing an illegally obtained gun for 11 days back in 2018. If he is convicted, he could face up to 25 years in prison and about $250,000 in fine. Now, it's important to note, for context, nonviolent first-time offenders who haven't been accused of using the weapon that they had in another crime usually don't get the book thrown at them to that extent. There are several things the judge could do in this case. Everything from asking them to renegotiate a plea agreement, a different one from the one that kind of got us here in the first place, that fell through several weeks ago, a diversion program without prison time. I mean, there's other things that can be done. Just kind of depends on what the judge decides.
What do you do as a judge? I mean, because if you were to say, listen, this is excessive, based on what normally happens in a case like this, there wouldn't be jail time. The judge is going to get hammered, right? Because you're actually giving favor to the son of the president, to the Bidens. Or do you just do what the law provides for here, and you don't worry about the aftermath?
I mean, apparently, it's an appeals court has already found that the ban on drug users having guns violates the Second Amendment under the new Supreme Court standards of it. So it's kind of an interesting dichotomy for people who are Second Amendment supporters, and you're talking about this particular situation. I mean, it is, legally it's going to be interesting to see how this is ruled.
Yeah.
Like I said, people who are nonviolent first-time offenders who didn't use the weapon in something else, like they didn't get the weapon illegally and then go use it in a carjacking or whatever.
Right.
They usually don't get serious prison time for this.
All right. Well, this is going to be interesting to see where this thing goes, and you're going to have a plea by Biden. And do we have any idea if he's going to go in and plead not guilty, or if he's just going to?
Yeah, he's going to plead not guilty.
He's going to plead not guilty.
Lawyer.
Yeah. All right. Very interesting. So this lingers on. That's just what we need in political season. Tanya, as always, thank you so. Boy, that flooding in New York. I hope you were okay during all that over the weekend. It was crazy in New York City.
Yeah. If you live in an ancient building like many of us do, you may have had electrical issues like many of us did.
Yeah, like where did
you think it's funny for
the way you said it
for 36 hours.
I'm sorry, Tanya, and I'm sorry if you had to deal with that. No, the way you delivered the line is what I was laughing at.
Well, and many people in many of those apartment buildings, their laundry is in the basement.
Yeah,
and the basements were just flooded out, and some of the streets turned into like little canals. It was just.
Yeah,
man, and it came quickly.
It was crazy.
Yeah, wow.
I'm sorry you had to deal with that, Tanya. I would never laugh at you being in that situation at all.
Well, we are all happy the water has subsided.
Well, yes, I'm very happy the water has subsided, and if you live in I like to call them a Franken apartment.
Yeah.
Where they've basically taken a building at some point that was lovely back in the late 40s. And they carved it into small apartments that are wired every which way you can think. It is a nightmare to fix it.
All right. Well, Tanya, stay safe. Thank you so much, and we'll talk again. Thank you.
Anytime.
All right.
Thanks,
Tanya J. Powers from Fox News. I find like I'm striking out miserably today. I bring up things that I think are – you want to talk about things that people – you either – if you reference things –
you want people to get it.
You want people to get it and understand. So I referenced to you the Jimmy Fallon thing. Mm-hmm. You completely didn't get the reference.
Not at all.
I reference it to Tanya. She has no idea what I'm talking about. I mean, I am striking out left and right here.
As they say, it's not
the
funny.
The McDonald's thing, she had no idea what I was talking about. You saw that yesterday, right?
Yeah, I watched that, and I knew about the work thing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
so
I got your back.
Davey's with me.
There you go.
Thank you, Davey.
So, as they say, it's not funny if you have to explain him.
Correct.
One more thing, though, on Hunter Biden. I would imagine, and I understand, I'm not disagreeing with folks who say that they want to see the book thrown at Hunter Biden.
Yes.
And they feel like he did some really horrible things. Whether or not Joe was involved, they feel like Hunter Biden should have the law books thrown at him. I get that.
Sure.
Am I crazy to think that all this is for naught, that dad will just pardon son at some point anyway? People are talking about he's going to be in jail for 30 years. He's going to spend a decade behind bars. No, he's not. His father's going to bail him out like he always does.
Well, I wonder what happens there. And there will be a lot of, there'll be a lot of criticism there. I don't think you're going to see him end up, if he does go to jail, I think it would be probably maybe when you're at home, your
house arrest,
maybe something like that. I think I find it. I don't know, and maybe they have to set an example. Maybe because of politics, I don't know.
And that's another thing too. People fairly criticize that. Oh, Hunter got a sweetheart deal.
That isn't a fair criticism though, because when you really look at it, most people in that scenario, just as Tanya was saying. The average case in America, they don't get they on that first the first offense they
in
don't
this
get
case,
jail time.
But wasn't the tax case they had a deal and then they threw it out because it was too light.
I don't know what the whole story is on all of this. However, no matter what happens, people are going to criticize it from both sides. And I find it very hard for Biden to be able to say, if he did get jail time, to be able to say he's commuting his sentence. I would find that very difficult for him to do. I also I wouldn't expect him to get a long enough sentence where that is going to be needed. But we'll see. Maybe we're all wrong on that.
And my other thought on this is, because again, in this case, the right is always going to criticize, he's the president's son, he got a sweetheart deal, no matter what the case is, right? So if you're the prosecutor, Dad's got a get out of jail free card.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you be a little tougher? Because Dad, I just think his father's going to bail him out anyway.
I don't think it's as simple as you think for that, but we'll see. I
mean, look at all the people Trump pardoned who were in his
I understand,
camp.
but this is your kid, and there's the nepotism. I don't know. We'll see where all of it goes, but I guess we may find out.
I'm just telling you, if I was the president, my son got in trouble,
you'd pardon
Carter
him.
is getting a get out of jail free card every time.
I wouldn't tell him that.
It's my son. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't tell him that. He'll think he can get away with anything. I was thinking about this, too, which I thought might be kind of interesting. See if I can get it to play. Oh, yeah. La Pola. I gave La Pola money, and what'd he do? He went out and he spent it. He went out, he spent all the money I thought was going to charity. La Pola. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not.
If you're
Is it too early for that, Davey? Is that too early?
That was awesome.
It might be a little too early.
If you're not watching on YouTube, I want you to know Bill did that live. That's not recorded. You just turned down the bed and started singing.
I just was thinking, it just popped in my head. I think there might be a little ring to that. There might be a song there.
You're absolutely 100% spot on.
There might be something to that. Now, the question is, are people feeling bad for Lulapola? It's like, how could you make fun of that? Why would you do that? You know that the reason that is, although hitting that note this morning is not easy, getting up a little bit high. I did a La Bamba parody when La was mayor, and I was on the radio years ago. And it certainly doesn't apply today because we didn't know anything about this money stuff. But it certainly fits today, doesn't it?
Is this the only shoe that's dropping?
No. No, I'm hearing that it's still going to be a few weeks. You have to wait for the canary to chirp.
Yes, I was going to say
is how they specifically said it to me. You must wait for the canary to chirp.
Yeah, I would have to imagine Lou is going to hit some notes that we never thought he'd hit.
That could very well be true. What else do we have here this morning? I have a few minutes yet. I think we do. We mentioned football last night. How about Fleetwood Mac? This was a really good answer, and I'm not sure I completely agree with it, but I completely respect it. Stevie Nicks was asked why they have not put together another tour for Fleetwood Mac, and if you'll recall, Christine McVie, passed away a while back, was an integral part of Fleetwood Mac. And Stevie Nicks all but confirmed in a new interview that Fleetwood Mac is done and will no longer perform following the November 22 passing, coming up on a one-year passing of singer-songwriter and longtime band member Christine McVie. Nick's comment echoes Stevie similar thoughts that Mick Fleetwood shared in February when he told the Las Vegas Times, I think right now, I truly think the line in the sand has been drawn with the loss of Chris. I'd say we're done. Stevie Nicks said, how could we be Fleetwood Mac without Christine McVie? So it looks like more than one member coming out and saying that this is the end. And I don't necessarily, look at the Beach Boys. Look at some of these other bands that are still out there performing. But they say they won't do it.
It's like like they say in sports, right? Next man up. What's his name? The Patriots coach there. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But Bill Belichick. Yeah, next man up, or in this case, next woman up. I mean, I understand. It is in one regard, it's a beautiful thing that the band members feel that each member was so important. Now that we've lost one, we can't continue without that piece. I think probably the general public and sports fans will say, look, when your quarterback gets hurt or the tight end goes down, you put in a new tight end and you continue doing what you do. But, I mean, it's up to them to decide whether or not they want to perform.
You're dealing in artwork here. This is an art form, right?
Yeah.
It's music and
it is a beautiful thing. I do think that they feel that she was such an integral part. That line that you read, how could we be Fleetwood Mac without her?
Without her. A woman was caught with her pants literally off while waiting in line at an airport in Florida.
Hey, now.
Here is the now infamous audio from the video that a bystander took while commenting on the half-naked woman. It's believed that what had happened is that she was wearing the dress with nothing underneath it. And the dress somehow came up and was exposing things that she didn't want to expose. So they say, but maybe she knew. I don't know. Here is the commentary and the play-by-play.
Spirit Airlines, half naked. What is this going on in 2023? Lord, give me strength. I say no drawers. I wonder if Spirit gonna let this happen today. Spirit, you gonna let this happen? No drawers. Look at the woman. Look at the woman.
So clearly they were heading to Jamaica from Florida, and but it was quite a sight. So they say the pictures, by the way, and video are out there online for you to find.
Nice.
Today is National Boyfriend Day. National Boyfriend Day.
Oh, okay.
So, by the way, in New York City, I was I don't know if you saw any of the videos, but they're saying that when the flooding came, do you know what happened? What almost biblical thing occurred, although it's a modern-day biblical comparison. All of a sudden, as the sewers filled, what do you think happened? The rats and mice came out of the. They were coming out of the drain. They're coming out of the manhole covers because those were popping off. It was quite a sight in New York City. A lot of rats.
So can I, before we move on from the pants thing, I know you have other stuff there.
I knew the pants story. Unlike the Jimmy Fallon story, the pants story would tweak your interest.
Well, because I have to tell you that your very own Jeff Manaski from the Keeler in the Morning Show nearly got caught with his pants down in a public place recently.
How did that happen?
I told you I had to go and pay my tax bill. I mentioned that on the show last week.
Of all places with your pants down.
So this is completely new because I've been there 100 times. And I'm wondering if this is going to be the case at Comets games. I went into the county office building. As a matter of fact, now this was Friday. I was sick, okay? And I was in bed all day.
You were very sick.
And I'm like, again, as long as you paid by Friday, you avoided a late fee, and I'm king of the last minute. I
also pulled a Celeste friend. We're going to talk to her by paying having to pay the late fee on taxes. It happened to us over the weekend.
So I'm in bed Friday, and I'm like, I got to go pay this bill, but I'm like, oh, okay, it's 2:00. County building closed at 4:30. So I'm like, because I didn't want to get out of bed. I felt like trash. So finally, it's like 3:45. I'm like, I have to go now. So I get up. I just throw some jeans on, a little big, right? So I put a belt on, and I throw a sweatshirt on. So I go to the county office building.
You had to take your belt off there?
I've never had to do that before.
Yeah,
the guy told me it's the sign of the time. So I go through. I took everything out of my pockets. I got my checkbook in my hand. I said, I got to go up to tax and fine. He goes, you'll tell them that over there. I said, well, I'm just letting you know why I got a checkbook in my hand. I'm here to pay taxes.
Put your hands up in the air.
I walk through.
Hands go up.
Beep, beep. He goes, do you have a belt on? I said, I do. He goes,
take it off.
I said, are you kidding me? He goes, no, I'm not kidding you. And my pants started to come down. So
now you're doing that thing of.
I got to ask Tony next time he's on. I've never had to take my belt off before in the county office building.
I've told the story where I know someone whose shorts went right down.
Well, it almost happened to me.
Right down to the ground. Luckily, he was wearing those boxer shorts, which saw it in an airport. Listen, I got a break. WIBX Utica Rome. It's 7 o'clock.
He'll be back in a New York court I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News. Former President Trump will attend the second day of his civil fraud trial.
It's election interference. They're interfering with the presidential election of 2024, and the people of our country see it.
He also calls the judge rogue for already ruling the Trump organization committed fraud. And then he praised that judge for deciding the statute of limitations blocks some evidence.
Therefore, about 80% of the case is over.
New York Attorney General Letitia James is seeking $250 million in damages and other sanctions, accusing former President Trump and his businesses of lying to banks about wealth and valuations to secure loans.
That's Fox's Jared Halpern. Hunter Biden's also due in court today in Delaware, expected to plead not guilty to 3 felony gun charges after a tax evasion misdemeanor plea deal that would have wiped away a gun crime fell apart in July.
Hunter's now been charged with making false statements relating to a firearm purchase, as well as one count of possession of a firearm while being an unlawful user of or addicted to a controlled substance.
Fox's Jessica Rosenthal. A congressman carjacked Henry Cuellar, a Democrat, robbed at gunpoint last night in Washington. He was not injured. Police are looking for 3 suspects. At the Capitol, Congressman Matt Gaetz filed a resolution
declaring the office of Speaker of the House of Representatives to be vacant.
He wants to oust Kevin McCarthy, a fellow Republican, for working with Democrats to avert a government shutdown, passing a short-term funding bill without the spending cuts conservatives demanded. McCarthy predicts he'll survive and remain House Speaker.
I'm proud of the record of what we've been able to accomplish so far.
3 scientists were awarded the Nobel Prize for Physics this morning, including Pierre Agostini at Ohio State University, for their work studying electrons inside atoms and molecules. But none of us can figure out how to win the Powerball. So the jackpot grows again to $1.2 billion, the 7th biggest lottery prize in the U.S. ever. America's listening to Fox News.
Greetings, Sebastian Gorka here. For years, I've mentioned how much Relief Factor has helped the pain in my lower back. Gary from Ohio shared his experience too. He writes, I tried Relief Factor due to its botanical ingredients to reduce pain in my shoulder, knee, and lower back. After just a few weeks, the knee pain was completely gone, and the shoulder and back pain were reduced quite a bit. I can now exercise much more comfortably and practically pain-free. Thank you, Relief Factor. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more, so it looks like a lot of people are thanking Relief Factor. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing. Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start at the reduced price of $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference with Relief Factor. relieffactor.com.
All right, we have a few clouds outside, 55 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:03. This news update is brought to you by John's Mobile Home Parts and Accessories in Oriskany Falls. For all of your mobile home needs, it's worth the trip. Visit johnsmobilehomeparts.com for more information. Well, we got some good news last night. More information will be released later today on the abduction of a 9-year-old girl, Charlotte Cena. But fortunately, the girl was found safe in Milton last night after she was taken from Moreau Lake State Park while riding her bike on Saturday. Police have arrested a man, 47-year-old Craig Ross Jr. They say that a fingerprint that he left on a ransom note for Cena's parents helped law enforcement identify him. Cena was discovered in a cabinet of the camper trailer where she was being held. She was later taken to the hospital. Again, more information expected to be released on that case coming up later today. If you play the Powerball and headed to another part of New York State, you may have been a big winner last night. A $2 million Powerball lottery ticket was sold in New York State. Winning numbers last night were 12, 26, 27, 43, 47, and the Powerball was 5. There were 2 winning tickets worth $2 million each. One was sold in South Carolina. The other sold in Newburgh, New York. Halloween just around the corner.
What did they get? They got $1 million? I
think they got $2 million each.
$2 million each. Well, that's good money.
It is.
You know?
It won't spoil you. You know? You
No.
can't buy $500 million mansions with that.
I love these people who are like, give them two. It was only $2 million.
Yeah.
Give me a break. I'm waiting for the big money.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
I'd take $20 at this point. Halloween is just around the corner, and if you'd like to get your heart pumping, the Halloween season, there are plenty of places throughout the Empire State that can raise a hair or two on the back of your neck. You can find the 7 most haunted places in New York State to scare you to death. Some are close by, in fact. There's one in Syracuse, actually a few in Syracuse. The full list on our website at WIBX950.com. A 13-year-old boy is expected to make a full recovery after he was hit by a vehicle in Cicero yesterday. The teen was riding by another boy on his bicycle when he ended up in the path of a vehicle driven by near the Dami Family Dentistry office on Thompson Road off Route 31. The boy was taken to a nearby hospital to be treated for a concussion and a shoulder injury. The cause of the accident is still under investigation. No tickets have been issued. And again, the young man is expected to make a full recovery. And the New York State Public Service Commission has a warning for state residents about an ongoing scam. Here's another one. One of our listeners suggested we do a daily scam alert because there are that many.
This smishing, I put a story up on the website. The number of people that I heard from yesterday who said, I've had that exact same thing, and I know that I've clicked on it.
Same here.
And you're one of them.
I'm one of them.
Yeah.
Well, this one I haven't fallen for, and listen up so you don't fall for it as well. Officials say scammers are making phone calls to utility customers, so in this case it'd probably be National Grid. They claim to be a member of that agency. The scammers say that you've been overcharged on your utility bill, and it's easy to believe because you probably feel like you're being overcharged. They say, we need your bank account number or your credit card number. We want to refund the money that we overcharged you. Well, some people are falling for this. They say anyone who gets a call like this should not give out any personal information. Simply hang up the phone.
Yeah.
But they will mail you a check. They will not call and ask for personal information.
Just imagine when you're trying to, and it is annoying. It's gotten to be so annoying. If your phone isn't working correctly or your computer, and, when I say working correctly, it's supposed to all just work. It's now supposed to remember your password, but for some reason it always remembers an older password, and that password doesn't work, and you get frustrated. So you're looking for that one little element because they're asking a security question. And you're looking for that. How did I write it? How did I spell it? Because that becomes very important. If you have a dog named, I don't know, what's your dog's name?
Shay.
Shay. Okay. Now, one might spell that S-H-A-Y. S-H, is it A-E-E-A?
E-A. Like Shea Stadium.
Shea Stadium.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming that's how the dog's name is spelled, after Shea Stadium.
It was recommended by a listener, and I thought it fit like a
good
glove.
Idea. However, did you capitalize the S? You should have, but were you thinking all lowercase? And it takes you a few times to be able to get that security question in. But if you have somebody scamming you, that might be what they're looking for. That one little piece. They've got everything on you, and you think, well, they're not going to know who I am. They don't really know who you are, but they've chosen you, and they're humming in on your information. These scams are how they get that information, and you just have to be very, very careful.
Yeah. So once again, if you get a call from someone claiming to be National Grid and they say we've overcharged you, which is easy to believe, by the way, they will just mail you a check. They will.
Reminds me of the time my lights were shut off, and I'm like, oh yeah, right. I'm late on my bill. Right. I'm hanging up on you there, Johnny Cochran. See you later.
Yeah, so don't fall for it. They'll ask for your credit card information or your bank account so they can reimburse you. That's not what they're going to do. They're going to rip you off.
How do we know what's real and what isn't real anymore? It's just so confusing.
Well, I'll tell you this. Believe it or not, this forecast is real for early October. We have sunny skies for the day today, a high reaching 83 degrees. Here's another shocker. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies with a high just shy of 90. We're looking at 87, 88 degrees for your high tomorrow. Thursday, mostly sunny, a high of 83. Friday, chance of showers and a high of 75. This weekend, we come back down to reality. Showers likely Saturday, a high of 64. Sunday, I'm getting into the extended forecast, I know, but it's that much of a shocker. Sunday, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, a high of 55. Bill, Monday is Columbus Day. They're calling for cloudy skies, rain, and a high of 52, which will be colder than the overnight low last night.
Yeah, wow.
How about that? Right now, we have cloudy skies, and we are at 56 degrees. WIBX News Time is 7:09. All right, in sports, Giants fans, if you watched last night's debacle, you're likely calling in sick today. I'd feel sick to my stomach as well if I had stayed up to watch this. The Giants lose 24-3 to the Seahawks at MetLife Stadium, an ugly end to Week 4 in Monday Night Football. Daniel Jones suffered behind a struggling offensive line. He threw a pair of interceptions. He was sacked 10 times. Can somebody, I mean, at least protect the guy? I know he's bad, but he didn't deserve that. 10 sacks last night. He also fumbled as well. The Giants fall to 1-3. They visit the Miami Dolphins coming up in Week 5.
One thing that I did watch is he came off and I don't know, he threw a pass that was almost intercepted or was intercepted. I kind of forget because I was just in and out watching. And he came over to the sidelines, and it might have been the head coach Dable. Looked and was yelling at him, and you talk about the deer in the headlights look for Josh Allen. This quarterback didn't know where he was. He was just so confused, it seemed, and he's being yelled at, and he's trying to be like, I thought I passed it. I don't know what he was saying, but it was a bad moment. That was the first half. They were only down by a couple of touchdowns, and then it just continued. They went nowhere through the rest of the game.
24-3 the final. If you haven't done this before, I'll tell you it's worth it. You know what Daniel Jones looks like. Google the man with the yellow hat from Curious George. That's his doppelganger.
Yeah.
He looks like the man with the yellow hat.
Yeah, looked very confused last night.
Major League Baseball wild card action begins today. That's exciting, except if you're a Mets or Yankees fans, because we're not involved. In the American League, the Rays they host the Rangers, for Game 1. The Toronto Blue Jays travel to take on the Minnesota Twins. In the National League, the Brewers host the Diamondbacks, and the Miami Marlins will visit the Philadelphia Phillies. The 4 teams will play a best-of-3 series, with the winner heading to the divisional round. Of course, there are 4 teams with a bye. The divisional round begins Saturday. The Braves, the Orioles, the Astros, and the Dodgers are your bye teams.
You know, for us, it started with Diaz, right? Playing that World Baseball Championship Classic. And he gets injured celebrating. He was at the top of his game. He was playing the best baseball of his career and probably, arguably, was the best reliever in all of Major League Baseball. And Mets fans were excited right up until that point, and that's how the season started. But if you were to say in April, we'd be sitting out October, I don't think any of us would have believed it except for Larry in Whitesboro, who may have called it in the very beginning.
He did.
And if you would have been told both the Mets and Yankees are going to be sitting it out, I don't think anybody would believe that. And look at where we are. Wow.
The Milwaukee Brewers will be without one of their key starters for the opening round of the playoffs. Manager Craig Counsell telling the media that Brandon Woodruff will miss the NL wildcard round against the Diamondbacks because of a shoulder injury. Elsewhere, the Angels parting ways with manager Phil Nevin. The Angels declined Nevin's contract option for 2024 after he was promoted as the team's manager in June of 2022. What else do I need to mention here? Preseason hockey, the Devils survived a back-and-forth battle. They beat the Islanders 6-5 in a preseason showdown at the Prudential Center. I think we're good now.
All right, I do want to say that you should go to, if you still have, it's these final days of history, your Observer Dispatch being delivered by a carrier, whether it be in a car or a bike or somebody who walks, delivered by carrier today. That'll end later on this month. But if you got your Tuesday OD, your Tuesday Observer Dispatch, do you have it in there, Davey? You only have the Sentinel. If you have your Tuesday Observer Dispatch,
the Daily Sentinel,
go to the OD, go to the sports page, and then go in. I believe it's the first page in. Is it, Bill, the first page in? This comes from Bill Morehouse. Look to the area where it says Sports on TV. Today's OD is nice enough to tell us what was on TV last night. This morning's, look at it. This is this morning's Observer Dispatch, Sports on TV. At, let's see, ABC, Seattle at the New York Giants. ESPN, Seattle at the Giants. Earlier in the day at 4:30, college golf. I mean, they have the TV rundown from yesterday in today's paper.
Well, I was jokingly going to say, but I don't think it started yet. You said, do you have Tuesday's OD? And I was going to say, don't you mean Sunday's OD?
You know, we've been right. We've been joking about how everything is so late.
Yeah.
And, it's last week's news. Well, here's a perfect example. But Clearly, it's a mistake. So
Well,
I shouldn't.
I don't know,
Jump
because-
on the mistake.
Listen.
We just wanted you to know what you could have watched last night. I don't know.
I will tell you. I mean, Monday's Columbus Day. This is going to be another example where if your Sunday paper is coming in the mail, and Monday's a holiday, you're going to get Sunday's paper on Tuesday.
Well, that won't start this week, but it is going to be
But
the
that's
case.
an example of
That
what
is
would happen in the
exactly
future.
the case. Your
Yeah.
Sunday paper will come on Tuesday. How'd you like to be Shenantries right now? Okay, Donna, it was a mailman. The person who did the abduction, who has allegedly been, what, Davey?
This comes from a reliable source that works at the OD. It says we are stopping home delivery on all routes on 1022.
1022, yeah. Okay, thank you. I knew it was somewhere in the 20s. So you have really one more Sunday paper that's going to be arriving on Sunday.
Well, 2.
Donna says, is it 2?
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
only,
we're at
today's
the-
only the 3rd.
We're at the very beginning. The family's home was being monitored. Listen to this. The family's home was being monitored by state police, but the officers had been sent to another call in the area when the suspect dropped off the note. Dropped off the note. I mean, what are you thinking? So he dropped
Again,
off
thank God for
this is-
stupid criminals.
This is all alleged.
Seriously.
Police tested the document for fingerprints and searched law enforcement databases to see if they could find a match. On their second try, they got back results identifying fingerprints left on the note belonged to 47-year-old Craig Nelson Ross Jr., according to the governor. Investigators were able to determine Ross was living in a camper behind his mother's residence and used 2 SWAT teams to make entry. They had what they call a dynamic entry tactical maneuver, and within the camper, they located the suspect and ultimately the child. Wow. And Mike this morning says that tells you if they were able to use the fingerprints, he must have had a previous run-in with the law for them to know he was in the database.
Here's the thing, though. I thought about that as well. He could. Oh, really?
In 1999.
Well, there you go. I was going to say that was
Thank you,
possible,
Davey.
but I would
You're
imagine as a federal employee, his fingerprints are on.
I don't know, but that might be true. That could be possible.
But
Yeah.
there you go. If he had a DWI, they were probably in the book there. Now, here's another thing. When they say he dropped off the letter in person,
I can't even believe that.
Did he put his postal suit on and go up and pretend and deliver it like it was Daily Mail, or did he walk up in his shorts and
I
a
don't
t-shirt?
know the answer to that.
We'll find out. Hopefully, we'll find out more information later today. They're supposed to.
Mike says on the scams, if you give bank information to National Grid, you're actually giving it to Nigerian Grid, which is really true. Julie, Fleetwood Mac, and talking about how the band can't go forward. Stevie Nicks saying, "What would we be without Christine McVie?" There are unique voices in Fleetwood Mac, McVie and Nicks, that combine to make their sound wouldn't be the same with one of them missing, and I do agree with that. But I hate to say, a lot of band members these days, Mike Love, choose to make the money, right, and go out and do the performance with none of your band members, and that's kind of the Beach Boys. But so many other bands today. If you go see the Platters, I don't think any of the original members of the Platters are in the Platters who are out performing today.
That's kind of bizarre.
It's called Let's Make Some Dough.
A couple of comments via the app. Big Honey says, Jeff, we should all take our pants off when we pay our taxes. It makes it easier for the government to...
Yeah.
And John in Deerfield says, it looks like the Dodgers are getting walked into the NLCS by not having to play the Phillies, who are obviously better than either the Diamondbacks or the Brewers. In the meantime, the NL East gets to fight it out. So it's Marlins, Phillies playing in the wild card round.
Coming up this morning, Dr. Kent Hall from MVHS. Hobica's free money question of the day. What will the jackpot be? We'll get to that coming up as well. Celeste Friend, her ears have been ringing, I assume, as there have been a lot of people talking about her and signs that have come up missing. And signs, according to Galimi, that her camp is putting up on various properties that have not asked for those. The belief is maybe they are simply registered Democrat, but usually I would think that you'd want to ask somebody permission beforehand. We'll see what Celeste has to say with that. Ryan Schmelz later on in the Gates-McCarthy update. Gates looking to remove McCarthy from the speakership. I don't know that he's going to be successful. We'll see. But I think they're going to need some Democrats to help.
Yeah.
And the question is, do the Democrats want to allow for more chaos, or do they want to just create some stability? How responsible will the Democrats be? We'll find out here, won't we? Dr. Kent Hall coming up at 7:20. It's Tuesday morning at WIBX.
Hi, this is Rob Hilton of Hilton Estate and Elder Law with important information that you should know regarding your estate planning. Specifically, you should have prepared what is known as the Big Three. Basic estate planning is comprised of the three main documents that you need. First is the will, next is the healthcare proxy, and last is the power of attorney. What most people don't know is how important of the three the power of attorney really is, because New York State has no simple method for you to act on another's behalf if they become incapacitated. I am often asked, what is probate and why is it needed? Probate is the act of administering the will through the New York State court system. It requires a filing fee and other actions to be taken, as well as a petition to be filed. It is time-consuming and can be expensive. It can be avoided by using a living trust. To find out more about strategies to protect your loved ones through proper estate planning, contact us at Hilton Estate and Elder Law. Call for more information and to schedule an in-person meeting to answer your questions.
Hilton, you know the name, they know the law. Hilton Estate and Elder Law.
We are proud to serve our country, to serve our local communities, to wear the uniform, to be a soldier, to serve abroad when and where duty calls. We are ready to stand with our brothers and sisters to defend, to serve, to fight. We're always ready, we're always there. We are the New York Army National Guard.
Sponsored by the New York Army National Guard.
Hi, this is Kira Meelan. After almost a century in business, Meelan's Carpet One is known for many things. Our commitment to customers, for example. We go above and beyond to make your shopping experience exceptional from start to finish. We're also known for quality installation. Our experienced installers are like part of the family. They've been with us for years and they do an incredible job. But one thing everyone knows us for is Karastan area rugs and carpets. And this month is National Karastan Month. Karastan area rugs and carpets offer unmatched quality and timeless beauty for your home. Many of the choices available come with a lifetime stain warranty. And with the lowest prices of the season, no interest financing, and up to $1,000 in savings, National Karastan Month is the best time to invest in new carpet or area rugs. So this month, stop by Meelan's Carpet One on Old Commercial Drive in Yorkville, across from Joe Tahan's, where the good Meelan feeling means incredible savings and financing on Karastan area rugs and carpet.
But I don't want to get a flu shot.
You don't want to get the flu again. It's just a teensy little poke.
Hi guys, I know you don't like needles, so I brought Fuzzy.
What is that?
It's a device that uses vibration and ice to help take the sting out of shots.
See, hun, that wasn't so bad.
Wait, you did it already?
Yep, Fuzzy helps. And Kinney is the only pharmacy that has him.
I'm gonna tell everyone I know.
Great. They can schedule online at kinneydrugs.com.
This is Harry G., the heat pump expert from Country Suburban. With New York State planning to eliminate fossil fuels, heat pumps are the wave of the future. Heat pumps can save you up to 30% or more on your heating and cooling bills. Right now, you can receive up to $20,000 in heat pump incentives. Call 315-735-5300 for a free estimate.
Offer good while funds are available.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
$7:24 Tuesday morning. Temperatures going up to 80 degrees today. Wow. 87 tomorrow. Another near 80-degree day on Thursday, and then the bottom falls out.
Yeah, no kidding.
Enjoy while you can. By the way, tonight, if you care, the Mega Millions drawing tonight is worth $300 million. That's that's nothing to sneeze at, right? But then if you go with Powerball, we are at, somebody said it was $1.4 billion yesterday. It's actually 1.04 yesterday. 1.04 billion, because today is 1.2 billion. The jackpot is at $1,200,000,000 for tomorrow night's drawing. $1,200,000,000.
Okay, so whether it's $1,200,000,000, $1,400,000,000, $1,300,000,000, I mean, at what point? Who cares what the
So
point
if you just think about this for a moment, and you got 1,200,000,000, 123, and then you divide that by 2. So I'm going to take the cash option. They cut it right in half, I think, right away. Now you've got $600 million, and then Jeff, you divide that by 2. Taxes in New York State.
Yeah.
You're going to walk away with, if you take the cash option and you win tomorrow night, you know how much money you'll walk away with? This is in your pocket
million?
after taxes.
$300 million.
$300 million.
Yeah, basically you divide by 4 what the main number is. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah, you're gonna
cut it in half.
Cut it in half and cut it in half again, and you're at $300 million. I think that let's just say if you could live on. Let's say you could be disciplined. You have $300 million, and you've decided I'm going to live really well.
On $1 million a year.
Around here.
Yeah.
I'm not even going to do $1 million a year. I'm going to do $750,000 a year. You should be able to do that for 400 years. So. All right? So, now you might end up going over that $750,000. So beware. There are taxes and maintaining the beautiful home you're gonna get up there on the hill in Utica, or maybe in New Hartford.
I have to tell you, I feel like there's an element here. New York State loves to crack down on people for false advertising and misrepresenting products, etc., as they should. But I feel like the number of tickets they would sell would diminish significantly if that 1.2 billion sign, and then below it, even in smaller letters, it said, by the way, your cash payout's $300 million. People would go,
well, remember, that is the cash payout.
Billion.
You could take it annually, and I believe it's annually, and you'd pay the taxes, but I believe they would pay you every year, and I think that you'd get the full amount that way. But people want the money
right now. For how long?
Well, they maybe, I don't know what they do, whether they do 20 years or whatever. So you'd be getting big payments every year.
Yeah.
And then if you die, I'm pretty sure you're able to pass that on to your, because people want that big sum and let me have the big money. You know what? I'm going to take that $300 million. I'm so good, I'm going to turn it back into $300 billion.
I think what you could do too, and we have to ask him the next time he's on. But
that's a lot of money, by the way. $300 billion. Sorry.
It's a lot of money. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you called like Hilton Estate, and you set up an estate, right? If people
Rob, if you win tomorrow's lottery, Rob would love you to call.
Yeah, sure. But if you set up an estate, if your concern is maybe I won't live 20 years and my family won't, well, I think if you set up an estate, your estate would get the, you know what I mean? So then if you're afraid
Correct.
that you're going to die in 5 years, right?
You can will that money.
For the next 15 years, your estate would continue to get the money and your family would have access to it, I believe,
you do it.
But we'll get him on to
You would
confirm
have
that.
to do it very, very carefully, which is why these people need advisors, and they don't get them oftentimes. Dr. Ken Hall from MVHS on the line right now. Doc, good morning.
Good morning. How you doing this morning?
Do you guys do a big thing over the hospital where you're all like, all right, everybody, let's chip in $2 a piece. We're going to win the big $1 billion drawing.
I'm sure that there are folks around here that do just that.
Yeah. And then you could put your name on the side of the hospital. That'd be cool. That's what we call a win tomorrow night.
For everyone.
Okay? All right, Doc, we're getting close. This is October. I don't know if you've been keeping track, but this is the month of October. Do you know what that means?
Pumpkin lattes?
Yeah, I think so. Well, is it going to be that good? I mean, is it going to be that good at the cafeteria at the hospital? We're hearing it will be.
The cafeteria in the hospital is very nice. Brick oven pizza, very nice. And it is, for those that are not counting, it is 26 days.
26 days. Wow. All right. So where are we now on the preparation? I do have to say, there was this has been a long run, has it not? Just reflect for a moment. This has been a long run. And if you don't remember what it was like, it's like childbirth, right? You forget about the tough times. If you don't remember, just take a little stroll down the corner of Genesee and Oriskany, and the no hospital sign, downtown sign, is still up, which to me, 28 days, 26 days, it needs to come down. But it's been a long haul, and it all is coming to this. And even during that time, there were some hospital employees who were like, I don't want to move downtown. I'd rather be over here. I don't want the hospital downtown. Today, we've all come to the conclusion it's happening, whether you're for it or you're against it. And I have to say, the employees I've spoken to are unbelievably excited about this move.
Yeah, I would say that that's really true. On all of our existing sites, whether it's St. Elizabeth's, whether it's Faxton St. Luke's, whether it's the Faxton campus, whether it's our offices, who honestly, will not be doing a lot of work, individually within the hospital. There's a lot of palpable excitement about what this will mean for Utica, what this will mean for the Mohawk Valley Health System. Most importantly, what we believe that it will mean for our patients. In terms of the ability to provide, the next level of care. And honestly, the building is the building. It's the people inside that make that true. But everything else that we have done as a system over the last several years, the increased medical education, with the increased number of residencies and medical students that we're training, with our cardiac program and our trauma program and our stroke program. I mean, we. Even with the building of the hospital, which is obviously what people can see, touch, and feel, there have been a lot of other things going on within the health system that I believe have been done, that I believe will improve the care, and have been done with that vision in mind, to provide the next level care for our community, within Utica and within the Mohawk Valley. So that it's just. That, I think, is what really excites everybody here. Yes, the new building and, kind of new digs and stuff like that is great. But what it means for us to be able to do our job is just fantastic.
I have somebody, this is Julie, who says, I noticed the sign is up completely now. The Wynn Hospital sign is up.
I just saw that last week as well.
Now, before that, it was almost up. There was like a letter or two missing. What was the letter? Was the H in hospital like on back order? What happened there?
I'm not sure. I did notice that also, that it took a little bit longer to kind of finish it off, but they did finally get it done, and it will light up. There is a ceremony. I'll be honest with you. I don't know exactly what day that is planned, but there is a time when they will actually start to light that sign up.
Boy, do you remember the arguing on the? I mean, just so much of the arguing I know happened. You guys heard it firsthand, but our firsthand was just the arguing on the radio, the back and forth and the fighting over all of this. It seems like so long ago, and I guess it probably was, but that's all over, and we're finally down to this point. It's like Christmas time. You're a kid, and it's March, and you're like, man, Christmas is so far away, and here it is. This is an enormous deal for this community and for the region. It is. I can't express how big this is.
Yeah, I fully agree. And again, we're a health system. Our business is healthcare and taking care of people. But the effect that I believe that this hospital will have and this healthcare campus will have on the downtown Utica area, in conjunction with the Nexus Center, in conjunction with Cree, what used to be Cree, it's just phenomenal with the Odd and the building that is going on around that area with with the loft apartments and stuff like that. I mean, it really is transformative. But again, I'm a doctor. I'm about taking care of patients, and I'm just really excited about what we can do when we get into that building in terms of stepping up our game for the healthcare.
Mike says Vanna had COVID and couldn't come in to put the last letter up. I thought there was a rumor going around that she was going to come up and turn on that last letter. She'd be here to make the last letter go, Vanna White. Okay, Mike. Yeah, that would have been a nice little opening ceremony. Okay, there is we've had it here. It's beginning to go through the building here. I don't know. They're a pretty severe sickness that's hitting people, especially adults and kids.
Yeah.
That involves, what are yours? So it's the vomiting, it's the diarrhea, it's the fatigue, the being tired.
I mean, you can hear me. I'm still all clogged up here.
It's almost like a flu, and if you don't know someone that has it right now, you're probably not paying attention.
Yeah, there are. So we always talk about COVID and we talk about the flu. And last year we started talking about the respiratory syncytial virus or RSV. But there are lots of viruses out there that will do that will take their toll on your body. And GI viruses, the nice thing about them, if there is something nice about them, the nice thing about them is that they don't tend to last a long time. But when you're sick with the vomiting and the diarrhea, I mean, it is just terrible. There are what are called atypical symptoms. So you can have the flu and have GI symptoms. You can have COVID and have GI symptoms. So that is certainly true. They are not the most common symptoms, but they are symptoms that people will have, or some percentage of people will have with them. But it's this is virus season. It's mostly respiratory, because of us going back inside and kids going back to school, et cetera. But it's not just respiratory, because when you get people in close proximity, then you're also going to get the GI viruses and stuff like that will also be transmitted.
The fact is, right, wash your hands, don't touch your face, all those little things that we know about and we've heard about so often. Did I say don't wash your hands? Wash your hands. Make sure you wash your hands.
Don't
touch
your
face.
Don't touch your face, yeah. Just a quick thing. One of these is anecdotal. I know that, Doc, but I will say with the stomach issue involved, it made me think it wasn't COVID. I home tested twice. It came up negative. But you do say that sometimes COVID can involve that?
Yeah, you can get GI symptoms with COVID. It isn't the most common.
Right.
I don't know the exact percentage, but it's somewhere in the single digits in terms of the percentage where that is a significant component to it. Sometimes you'll get some secondary stomach upset and stuff simply because of the amount of upper respiratory secretions, which you end up swallowing just to clear your airway, and that mucus can actually upset your stomach too. But that doesn't usually cause like the vomiting and the diarrhea. So it's rare, but it does happen.
The other thing is, and this is anecdotal, I will say my little guy was in school, and I won't get into all the details, but he was sent home one day last week, and he was, of 20 kids, he was the 8th one out.
Yeah.
So that's almost half the class.
Kids,
yeah. So,
Schools.
and the other thing that I wanted to mention was, and again, this is just what I experienced. I've been fighting this through the weekend. I did come in yesterday, obviously, because I didn't feel like I was contagious anymore. I left yesterday. I slept for about 4.5, 5 hours in the afternoon. Got up. I had to come here and take care of a few things. I was back in bed by 5:30, and I slept till almost 5:30 this morning. I'll tell you, I feel like $1 million today. I know I still sound like garbage, but if you get sick, do not, and Dr. Hall, please back me up here. I think you're going to rest. Do not underestimate rest. Getting rest, you will feel 1,000,000 times better.
That's absolutely true. You don't realize how much of your energy, of your body's energy, it takes to fight off an infection, which is why rest, a good diet where you're replenishing that energy, and it's also why people lose lose weight when they're sick for extended periods of time. It's not just the dehydration, which, yes, that's water weight, but if you're not eating, then your body needs its energy from somewhere, and so it's gonna start to take it from your fat. It's going to start taking it from your muscles because it needs protein as well as energy. So rest is very important. Drinking, staying well hydrated, very important. Going a little while with a decreased appetite is probably fine, but you should not do it for an extended period of time. You have to keep the metabolic engine fed.
Yeah, I can tell you I've lost like 10 pounds since Friday.
Your pants are coming down when you pay your taxes. Yeah. Dr. Ken Hall, thank you, and we're really excited to see this month progress here.
Yeah, we are too, and again, we're literally chomping at the bit for October 29th.
All right, thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks everybody. Have a great day and enjoy the warm weather, and please be safe.
Dr. Ken Hall from MVHS.
And I would imagine, on that note, that once we do make the change here at the end of next week, you go from almost 90 to a high of 55. People are going to get sick again. There's going to be another wave.
My mother does believe the rising and falling temperatures does,
Are you suggesting that's an old wives' tale or an old mother's tale?
I'm not suggesting anything. My mother's usually pretty accurate with stuff, so at least I think.
Yeah.
741, our free money question of the day from the Hobica Law Firm. This morning it is worth, Siri?
$200.
$200.
Okay.
Slow on the reaction time there. $200 it is, Davey, and we're looking this morning for caller number?
Caller number 4.
Caller number 4. Your fourth caller right now at 315-736-0186. Your chance to win from the Hobica Law Firm in WIBX. Caller number 4 right now. After that, Celeste's friend answering to some accusations when it comes to signs. Man, she's just, if you talk about accusations during a campaign, for the most part, she's been the nucleus. They're all around her and coming after her. Have you noticed?
Yes. Well,
I would, if I'm her, I would say,
who's there all?
I think the other candidates and the other people, and even people supporting other candidates, seem to, if they're targeting one candidate in this race, it's targeting Celeste's friend. And if I'm her, I would say they're paying an awful lot of attention on me, a lot of attention to me.
You think we can get an update too? We'll get the Rolodex going. How much she's raised in this fundraiser?
We'll get to all of it coming up. 742. Fourth caller next with Hobica's free money question of the day.
Adirondack Home Furniture is fully stocked from wall to wall with top quality, durable, American-made pieces for any room. With over 40 bedroom and dining room pieces on display and quality sofas starting at $8.99, you're sure to find the pieces to transform your home. And don't forget, Adirondack Home Furniture has more than just rustic pieces. They carry a wide variety of modern, farmhouse, and traditional styles. If you're looking to transform your home or complete a room with a few pieces, now is the time to buy. Because at Adirondack Home Furniture, you'll save the amount of the sales tax. Save the amount of the sales tax on any purchase for your living room, bedroom, office, and occasional furniture. All solid wood and American made, including in-stock items, clearance items, and even special orders. Adirondack Home Furniture has the best value and top quality furniture for your home. Visit them at the former Riverside Mall, Horatio Street, Utica, or browse the inventory online at AdirondackHomeFurniture.com.
Life happens, and at Mohawk Valley FCU, we are here to help you through life's ups and downs. It's not always easy. Life isn't perfect. That's why Mohawk Valley FCU goes above and beyond for their members. With higher interest accounts, superior service, easy loan approvals, and so much more. With locations on River Road in Marcy, in the State Office Building in Utica, and with mobile banking, you'll receive the best service no matter where you are. Mohawk Valley FCU now welcomes all Town of New Hartford employees. Member-focused, member-driven. Visit MohawkValleyFCU.org.
Home and Hospital Medical Supply in the New Hartford Shopping Center proudly carries a wide selection of home medical equipment. Lift chairs to buy or rent, canes, crutches, walkers, powered scooters, braces, foot care products, and so much more. And if for some reason they don't carry the product you need, they'll custom order it at no extra charge. Mary and her experienced team are there to assist you Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, or call them 315-724-6767 and online at HNHMedicalNY.com. Home and Hospital Medical Supplies, we make life easier.
Hi, I'm Martha Stewart. Every year, more than 4 million pets enter shelters here in the United States. My friends at American Humane have been helping animals since 1877. The goal is to ensure that pets have a safe shelter, especially during natural disasters. Adopting a shelter pet allows shelters to help more animals awaiting care. Please consider adopting today and take some time to learn more about American Humane's other work at americanhumane.org.
Get ready for this week's half-off Thursday deal with SeizeTheDeal.com. Score your half-off gift certificate to 72 Tavern this Thursday starting at 8 a.m. Get $50 for $25 with Seize the Deal half-off Thursdays. 72 Tavern is the home of $10 lunch. Now open, attached to the Adirondack Bank Center. Get your half-off Thursday gift certificate this Thursday from 72 Tavern. Hurry, they sell out fast at SeizeTheDeal.com.
WIBX 950 and 106.9 FM. This is Keeler.
All right, Habaika's free money question of the day. Free money question of the day. John,
we should do Celeste first. She's in a rush.
John is on the line. John, good morning. How are you?
You're just going to keep going.
Very good, sir. And how are you?
Good. We got to do a quick one because we got to grab Celeste. She is time limited here this morning. I want to grab her. All right, are you ready to go? You know you have 7 seconds to answer. One answer is what we get. Make it your final answer. John and Herkimer, let's keep the streak going. Okay? We're giving away Habaika's money like it's growing on trees. Here we go. Here is your question. Are you ready, Jeff? Here we go.
Yes.
Here is your question. Julia McWilliams became something special. Who is she? Ready, go.
The young gal that was lost.
That's not. I got to do this right. Is that your final answer? Is that your final answer? Yes.
Yes.
Julia McWilliams became something special. She was born in Pasadena, California, and then later married a guy with the last name of Child. Julia Child. Julia Child, yeah. The cook, the chef. Julia Child here. Something
if
like
you'd
that.
said French, I might have got it.
You're right. She became something special in France. We're going to give you the all-in-one food and fun card. It's a $25 gift card. Aquavino Babes, 72 Tavern, the Grill, Taylor and the Cook. Sorry. Adirondack Bank Center concessions and Nexus as well. Stand by. John Davey's going to hook you up, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. She is in New York City, and we're just getting to her late. Celeste, I am so sorry we're late with you here this morning. Good morning.
No worries, no worries.
All right, let's do this all, pack it all into just a couple of seconds
and
here.
then if you want to come in tomorrow, you're more than welcome to.
Oh, sure, I'd love to. I always enjoy coming in.
Okay, so because
I just wanted to. You go ahead.
You asked to come on, and I know you want to clear up a few things from yesterday, so I'm going to give you. You have limited time. We'll do more tomorrow, but go ahead.
So I just want to say everybody in this city is against, vandalism of signs, moving signs, putting them up in the wrong places. Everybody, literally everybody in the city is against that, including me. But what I find so frustrating is that the people of this city want us to talk about issues, and that my opponent would come on the radio and talk for 15 minutes about lawn signs and imply or insinuate that I was somehow doing anything dishonest. It's just really frustrating, because what the people want us to talk about is the housing crisis, is public safety, is road paving. That's what people want to hear from us about, and instead we spend time talking about lawn signs. It's why people call Utica politics, this is silly season, because people get really silly. This is not the thing that people care about. But it's the thing my opponent wants to talk about is just really disappointing. And just for the record, I've never put a sign intentionally where it didn't belong. I've never moved anybody else's signs. I've never touched anybody else's signs. I don't do it. I have better things to do with my time.
So it's an excellent point that you made. I just want to say, in fairness, I did reach out, and Bill, you asked me to reach out. Did Mike want to talk about, you were hearing some of his signs were being stolen. We reached out to him for that purpose, and we did focus on that yesterday. I just want to mention that in fairness. It wasn't like Mike said, hey, I want to come on about these signs. The second thing is, while he was on, he did say, he made an accusation, not that anyone from your side had taken his signs, but that he was hearing from people that your side and in particular, maybe your partner was going around and putting signs in people's yards that weren't asking for them, and they were telling Mike. Go ahead.
Right. We only put signs where people ask for them. Our volunteers and me, when we talk to people at stores, we say, "Would you like a sign?" We put that into a database. We cut turfs on the basis of that, and then Andy grabs somebody, another volunteer, and they go out and put up signs. We only put signs where people have asked for them. Is it possible with the several hundred signs that we have up that we occasionally get an address wrong? Sure. But we never intentionally put signs where people have not asked for them. I think that would be a really crummy thing to do, and we don't do it.
I know you're almost out of time. Do you have one more time for one more question?
Sure.
Quickie. And it is, even one of your opponents actually defended you, and I hope I'm not speaking out of turn here, but Bob Cardillo said, and I remember when I worked on his campaign the first time back in 2009, was it? 2008, 9, 10? Whatever, 11?
It was 11, yeah.
That he had fundraisers in Washington. He had fundraisers elsewhere because he had reach. He has that ability because he's worked in Washington. People threw fundraisers for him and helped him raise money. And he said it is not a terrible thing that Celeste is doing a fundraiser in New York City. He doesn't see that to be an issue. Nonetheless, that's where you are right now. That fundraiser was held yesterday. Right. How did you do? And do you want to talk about how much money was raised?
I'm not going to talk about that.
Okay.
It went well. It was a lovely brownstone in Brooklyn Heights. And here's what I have to say about that. We want a mayor. We need a mayor who's going to know how to go outside of Utica and convince people to invest in Utica. That's going to be a really important part of the job. And the fact that I can go outside of Utica and convince people to invest in my campaign is good evidence that I'm going to be really well suited to convincing people outside of Utica that Utica is worth investing in.
And if I could ask a technical question, will the money that was raised, will it come in from individuals or will it come from one group's overall check?
It will come from individuals.
Okay. All right.
Thank you, Celeste.
All right, Celeste, get on the road.
It'll all be disclosed. Can I just say one other quick thing about that?
Sure.
So it'll all be disclosed, and through the New York State Board of Elections financial disclosure system. Yep. And I disclose all that money that comes in. The law says that until somebody has given you $100, you don't have to put down their name. And I don't follow that rule. I follow the rule. I will be listing people who have given me $5 because I just think that level of transparency is a good thing.
All right. Now, listen, that throughway, the cops are going to be out there today, so be careful coming back. I'm just saying.
All right. Good advice.
All
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Celeste Friend. Have a wonderful trip.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Jeff.
She'll be on tomorrow. Confirm that so we can get into this a little more in depth, and it doesn't have to be the same time. Could be in the 8 o'clock hour, whatever. Comments, Banaski?
Yes. Good morning, Lance. Lance says, hey, I got up a bit late today. Had Samantha called in yet to claim that Celeste made $1 million at the fundraiser yesterday?
Well, I do. I thought that was a fair question to ask how much money was raised.
Sure.
And I only because it all is going to be disclosed, right?
Yeah.
It's all going to be put in, but I did want to know: does it come from one group or will it come from a bunch of people? So. But again, personally, I agree with Bob on this issue. You're holding a fundraiser, I don't care where you hold it, and be careful because if you have Washington, D.C. reach, if you have New York City reach, or reach outside of this area, outside the city, that is telling that you have the ability to potentially talk with people in the future about investing in the city, and that's not a bad thing.
So, in full disclosure,
unless you're going to be an absentee investor, and then we don't want you.
Correct, 100%. Yeah. Now, I did agree. This point was brought up last week. Is it a little peculiar for a Utica mayoral candidate to be having a fundraiser in Brooklyn? And I said it did strike me as a bit odd, but I think that is a fair point. That
if you have contacts there, then it is not odd, and it could be turned, as she started to do right there. It could be turned into a positive. It's going to be a very interesting race. I do have someone who piped in this morning. Could I read this? Do I have a second? Or are you telling me I'm out
go
of
right
time?
ahead. No, you're good.
All right. Mike this morning said, did you hear there was an IBX caller on Jimmy's yesterday? Yeah. Ellen called in to Jimmy Fallon yesterday, said she's not voting for Trump. She's a Republican, not voting for Trump. And Jimmy has been very critical of Trump and Biden, saying, I wish they'd both get out of the water and let other people swim.
I'm in that camp, by the way.
Ellen did say that she'd like to see another candidate. In the meantime, when that went on, he went off completely on the big show coming up, Jimmy Fallon, along with Kennedy, and it is the Laughs and Liberty Tour coming to Utica Stanley Theater. It'll help us celebrate it's going to kick off our celebration, our year-long celebration of 100 years. This radio station has been around for 100 years.
Well, technically 98.
Which is why November will kick off. Oh, it's 98?
Well, what is it, the 25th, the 15th, December 15th? It'll be 99 years. So we're celebrating from what, 99 to 100?
Like I said, this is going to kick off the night, right, 99 to 100.
Yeah.
It'll be 100 years. So we're kicking off that celebration. We've been celebrating it for the last 20 years. I don't know if you realize. We're now kicking it off, and we're getting close. Okay, nonetheless, you want tickets, go to Ticketmaster.com for Jimmy Fallon. And River Hills Properties, Bill and Robin Monjo, so graciously stepped up to say, what about veterans on Veterans Day? That's when the show is. So what about Heroes tickets? And we worked it out with the Stanley and River Hills Properties, where you can give the gift of comedy to a local veteran on Veterans Day. And all you have to do is call the Stanley box office and say, listen, I want to buy a pair of tickets, and they're Heroes tickets, so give them to a local veteran. You may be going to the show, but you want to give the gift of laughter to somebody else who can't afford it. Ticketmaster, you can buy tickets, but you can't do the Heroes tickets. You have to go directly to the box office for this. Go to the Stanley box office, or you can call them to buy Heroes tickets at 315-724-4000.
I just want to, because I agree
I didn't get to Mike's comment yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I will get there. So
I want to get on the thing that Ellen said. And because I identify with Ellen's point there.
Ellen also said she would hold her nose and vote for Trump if it's between him and Biden.
Well, that was the point I was going to make.
He's an enormous Trump fan.
That's the point I was going to make. I said this when Trump ran the first time. If Trump was running to be the most popular guy at the bar, I'd vote for him every time, because he says things that I think the president, the representative of the United States, is supposed to represent everybody and should be more politically savvy and politically correct. He violates that a lot. But the guy at the bar can say whatever he wants. He can say, "Oh, that woman's hot," and I'd like to, it's more appropriate in a bar setting, or they say in a locker room.
If Trump was in a bar, he'd find somebody to go over and take a bottle on somebody else's head. Like, that guy's looking at me funny.
Sometimes that's appropriate.
And I think there'd be people that would do it. Be like, okay, point him out. Let's go.
Having said that, though, to Alan's point about not wanting to vote for Trump, I will tell you I find myself in that camp. But if it's Trump or Biden,
this is the problem you're going to have with Joe Biden, and what's scaring Democrats is when Biden won, he won because people weren't voting for Trump. But now it seems like he's lost. The economy is where it is. I don't care if it's his fault or it's not his fault. It's the president. It's your economy. Mm-hmm. You own it.
Yep.
And the other part is the slow. I think the way we put it was Jimmy Carter's been in hospice for 7 months, but he still walks faster than Biden. Right? So I think the Democrats are worried that those, just like Ellen, who's I don't want Trump, just like I didn't want him in 4 years ago. But now it's to the point where I don't think I can vote for Biden. I have to plug my nose and vote for Trump. So this is the dilemma we're in right now. What a weird makeup for a presidential election.
It just makes you wonder too, because there's a lot of people chomping at the bit who want to be the president. Obviously. What do they got? A dozen? I know the field is whittling down now, but
notice how the Democrats, though, stick it together. The Democrats always stick together. And other than Kennedy, who is a lone wolf, they're sticking together and they're sticking by Biden.
Biden.
And it might be to a fault. News is next to WIBX. Plus
From the
those
Stanley
cash
Theater
codes
Studio, WIBX 950 Utica Rome, W295DI Utica Rome, your news, talk, and sports leader, a Town Square media station.
Hunter Biden goes to court. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, in Wilmington, Delaware today, where Fox's Brooke Singman reports he's expected to plead not guilty.
He's now facing 3 separate charges. Now, that's one for lying on the gun application, one for lying to the gun store clerk, and one for actually possessing the firearm while using illegal drugs.
Well, that after a misdemeanor tax evasion plea deal for the president's son fell apart, it would have wiped out a gun charge. Former President Trump will return to a New York court for day 2 of a civil fraud trial that he calls part of a witch hunt and corrupt election interference. His attorney, Alina Habba, just told Fox.
President Trump and the Trump family will not able to conduct business in New York. Will have to be dissolved in the state of New York. For doing what? I don't know.
The judge has already ruled the Trump organization committed fraud, inflating the value of assets. The state's Democratic Attorney General is pushing for a $250 million fine. There's an attempt to oust House Speaker Kevin McCarthy by a small group of his fellow Republicans. Congressman Tim Burchett just told Fox Business.
Kevin's my friend. I just think we need to get our ship in order, and it is not right now.
They're upset McCarthy worked with Democrats, averting a government shutdown with a short-term funding bill without spending cuts conservatives demand. McCarthy predicts they'll fail and he will remain Speaker. A crime near the Capitol. Democratic Congressman Henry Cuellar was carjacked and robbed at gunpoint in Washington last night. He was not injured. Police are looking for 3 suspects. The day after a missing 9-year-old girl was rescued from a kidnapper near Albany, New York. A family friend tells Fox Charlotte Senna is doing
very well, very well. Of course, the family's thrilled to have her back, but by all accounts, she's doing just fine.
Police found the girl in a cabinet inside a camper after tracking the suspected kidnapper, who they say put a ransom note in the family's mailbox. Nobody won the Powerball again? The jackpot grows to $1.2 billion. America's listening to Fox News.
Greetings, Sebastian Gorka here. For years, I've mentioned how much Relief Factor has helped the pain in my lower back. Gary from Ohio shared his experience too. He writes, I tried Relief Factor due to its botanical ingredients to reduce pain in my shoulder, knee, and lower back. After just a few weeks, the knee pain was completely gone, and the shoulder and back pain were reduced quite a bit. I can now exercise much more comfortably and practically pain-free. Thank you, Relief Factor. After trying Relief Factor, over 500,000 people have gone on to order more, so it looks like a lot of people are thanking Relief Factor. 3 weeks from now, you could be doing the things you enjoy doing. Your first step to becoming pain-free should be to order the 3-week quick start at the reduced price of $19.95. Go to relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. That's relieffactor.com or call 800-4RELIEF. Feel the difference with Relief Factor. relieffactor.com.
We have some sunshine, and we are currently at 54 degrees. WIBX News Time is 8:03. This news update is brought to you by Clinton Tractor, the leader in service. You can visit them online at clintontractor.net. Well, we got some good news yesterday. The missing 9-year-old girl from the Albany area was safely located. The girl was found safe in Milton last night after she was taken from Moreau Lake State Park while riding her bicycle on Saturday. Police have arrested a suspect, 47-year-old Craig Ross Jr. They say that a fingerprint he left on a ransom note from Cena's parents helped law enforcement identify him. Cena was discovered in the cabinet of a camper trailer. She was later taken to a hospital. Again, we are expecting more information on this case coming up later today. Do you play Powerball? Well, there was a New York winner last night. A $2 million Powerball lottery ticket was sold in New York State. The winning numbers were 12, 26, 27, 43, 47, and a Powerball of 5. I mentioned 2 winning tickets for $2 million. One was sold in South Carolina. The other sold at Smokes for Less on North Plank Road in Newburgh, New York. 2 $1 million tickets were also sold, one in Delaware, and one in the state of Michigan. Well, Halloween is just around the corner, and there are plenty of places throughout the state that can raise a hair or two on the back of your neck if you're into that kind of thing. You can find the 7 most haunted places in New York State to scare you to death. Just head to our website, WIBX950.com, to get the inside look with details on that. And the New York State Public Service Commission has a warning for state residents about an ongoing scam. We've been warning you about scams throughout the state, and officials say this one has scammers calling customers, and they claim to be from a utility company. In this case, it would be National Grid. The scammers say that they've been overcharged by the utility company, and they'd like your bank account information or a credit card so that they can reimburse you for that supposed overcharge. Anyone who gets a call like this is advised, do not give out any personal information. Simply hang up the phone. WIBX News Time is 8:05. Your Weather Center forecast calling for a great run of weather to continue before things take a turn. Today, mostly sunny skies, a high reaching 82. Tomorrow, mostly sunny skies, a high reaching 87. Thursday, mostly sunny skies, a high reaching 83. And then the turn begins. Friday, chance of showers, mostly cloudy, a high of 75. Saturday, cloudy skies, showers expected, a high of 64. Sunday, chance of showers and a high of just 55 degrees.
Wow.
That's where we are right now. We have sunny skies, 55 degrees. Go ahead.
Can I say that related to the news, you know who's killing it out there right now? Our man Ryan Nobles.
Oh, yeah.
He is
every night.
all over nightly news now, and with really strong interviews. Like, he's going after, and it doesn't matter the party. If you're doing something wrong in Congress, he's kind of becoming that watchdog reporter, and he's grilling them. Ryan, had he been given this opportunity at CNN, they'd have a lead reporter over there. But they didn't give it to him. NBC is reaping the benefits, and it all started here at WKTV. I think he's killing it over there.
Awesome.
Ryan
We'll talk to him later this week.
on the radio tomorrow with us.
WIBX News Time is 8:07. To the debacle at the Meadowlands last night.
Speaking of killing it, the New York Giants.
Oh, Daniel Jones. 2 interceptions and a fumble. In fairness, they don't want to block for him. He was sacked 10 times last night. 10 times.
Have they just given up and been like, if we, we don't want him dead, but if we could injure him, we'd get somebody else in here.
Maybe that's the case. The $40 million man taken to the ground 10 times. I mentioned the 3 turnovers. Seattle had a night at the Meadowlands last night. They beat up on the Giants 24-3. The big play of the game, if you will. What's the kid's name? It was a rookie. Bobby Wagner had 2 sacks. He led the defense with 17 tackles. What's the kid's name? I can't find it here. Smitty, do you know the name of the rookie who had the 97-yard interception return? Devin Weatherspoon.
Okay, all right.
Devin Weatherspoon, a 97-yard pick six. Seattle now 3-1 on the season. The Giants fall to 1-3. Well, after the Sunday night game, a member of the Chiefs defense has an apology for Zach Wilson. On Monday, Kansas City linebacker Willie Gay said he apologized to Wilson. Leading to a primetime battle, Gay said that he saw a team that wants to run the ball. In other words, they wanted it out of Zach Wilson's hands. Wilson went on to set a career high with 28 completions. He currently leads a Jets team that is 1-3 on the season. They visit the Broncos in Week 5. I have to tell you something. I plan to play this audio on the show today, and I didn't get a chance to see it. And more important than the audio is the video. On that play, where first of all, it was like 3rd and 20, and Patrick Mahomes scrambled for a first down. If you go back and look at the replay, there is a clear and obvious, I don't know how they missed it.
I saw this, yeah.
The holding that they did not call.
Yep.
It was terrible. And then on the play on the Jets cornerback who got called for a penalty, they gave him a first down. He did get a little handsy early on, but I thought that was a ticky-tack hold.
Yeah.
I never thought I'd say this, but I think the Jets definitely deserved to win that game Sunday night.
That hold would have changed everything.
Yeah, and both holds, really.
Yep.
The one on that was
Yep.
called on the Jets that was iffy, and then the one that I don't know how. I mean, he almost ripped his jersey off.
And was it Kelsey the other night with the Kansas City Chiefs, who was running the ball, clearly had a path to the end zone, and went out at like the 2, just went out of bounds at the 2?
Mahomes.
Well,
yeah.
I don't. Was it Mahomes that did that?
They slid down. Yeah.
I could not believe that because that changed. I mean, the line had they scored, somebody else wins the bet.
Yes,
but
the line was 9.5.
Didn't score.
A touchdown and an extra point would have made it a 10-point spread. And the line was 9.5.
Think about that. I mean, it's not about throwing a game, but throwing the line. I think that exists out there now.
I will say that has become a common play in sports. I mean, we even see this in playoff games where guys know we have the ball, they're out of timeouts, we can control the clock, so they'll slide at the 1 or the 2. That's
to
what
burn
happened.
the clock off and not give him another chance.
But
okay,
if
fair
he
enough.
scores there, and they complete the extra point, you're right. It changes. If you bet the line was 9.5, it would have been a 10-point game.
A lot of unhappy people on that play. Okay, you good?
Baseball playoffs begin today.
Yeah. Okay. Without the Mets, without the Yankees. Bill in New Hartford, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. It's a very special day. You know whose birthday it is today?
Today's birthday.
Special.
It's a very special birthday today. I don't know. Whose is it?
Happy birthday, Chubby Checker.
Chubby Checker.
Chubby Checker.
Well, that's an interesting twist.
I thought I'd just tell you that. Okay.
All right, that's cool, Bill. Thank you.
Thanks a
Good
lot.
hearing from you, Bill. Bill in New Hartford. Come on, baby. Let's do the twist. Chubby Checker. Come on, who has, by the way, been on this program. We maybe about 7 years ago had him on the air and got him to talk about the. He's very angry over how black artists were treated in the 60s.
Yeah, there's no question.
Very,
It was
very angry
disgusting.
about that.
Yeah.
A couple things.
Was he one of the ones where like
they all were?
He had to carry everything in a suitcase because they would rob him.
That was Chuck Berry. So Chuck Berry would just walk in. There'd be a band that would play with him on stage. He would have never rehearsed or met the band before. It'd be a good band. It'd be like, okay, guys, we're gonna do boom, boom, boom. Here we go. And he would just take over. The band would play and follow him. But he had a guitar case. He required that he was paid in cash. The money went in the guitar case along with the guitar, and he walked off the stage, and that was it. But he always had to be paid, I believe, before he went on stage. Otherwise, he wouldn't perform. That's what happens when you've been screwed so many times over the years.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Yeah, hard to believe. All right, I have one enormous story for you, which is going to change everyone's life. We've been waiting for the magic pill. It may be here. Forget curing cancer. Scientists are now hard at work at coming up with a drug that can mimic the benefits of regular visits to the gym. Yes. With zero effort, you'll have the exact same outcome. We'll deal with terminal diseases later. Right now, this is the great exercise pill. And, folks, it is coming.
Look, if now, when you say forget about the cure for terminal illnesses, if it can really mimic the benefits of going to the gym daily and proper fitness, that will actually stave off many terminal illnesses.
The new drug has been successfully tested in mice without running on the wheel. And human trials are coming next, with scientists optimistic that the results will be similar. So what does this new drug do? In mice, the drug was able to use body fat as energy and also increase the metabolism of the mice. Scientists will now try to replicate these results in human beings. Researchers from the University of Florida developed a drug that could help humans lose weight and gain muscle mass without exercise.
Wow.
The test was done on obese mice because the scientists were interested in analyzing the impact on fat tissues. The researchers observed that mice burn more calories without any physical activity during the 28 days of the experiment. Scientists believe that such a drug would help battle things like diabetes while significantly putting a dent in the value of your Planet Fitness stock. I think that's kind of funny.
Now,
but here's the problem, though.
Side effects include depression, nausea, thoughts of suicide.
Could be. You don't know. You don't know. So far, the mice seem to be pretty happy and lean. However, it's not going to help you with your cardio with your cardiovascular.
Yeah, your endurance and stuff like that.
You're still not. You're still going to be tired when you walk, but you won't be carrying. But you wouldn't be carrying that weight. And I think it's only a matter of time before there is some sort of a solution to the problem that America is so heavy. And it's hard. There's no doubt it's hard. And the more food they come up with that is just, so addictive, it seems, it's harder and harder for people to lose the weight or to stay in a trim fashion and exercise. Just some people don't exercise.
Yeah.
A pill that replaces exercise. Wow.
There are so many benefits too, and the endorphins. Again, I'm preaching here.
I get it, but tell me this isn't a miracle pill. I'm just saying. It's officially sweater weather after this week. Davey, sweater weather is on the way this week.
Okay.
By Saturday, you're going to be wanting to wear a sweater weather.
I don't wear sweaters.
A sweatshirt, Davey, might be an idea for you, which means heating season is upon us. Listen, we're in really good shape, knock on wood. Brand new furnace, brand new thermostat put together by Collis, Fred F. Collis Heating, Cooling, and Sons. Heating, cooling, and insulation. Fred F. Collis and Sons, heating, cooling, and insulation. But we have a brand new system in our home because last year ours went down on the very coldest day of the winter.
Wasn't it like a holiday, too?
It was January 1st. It was New Year's Day.
The fact that they showed up on the holiday.
Even offered space heaters for us to get through the weekend, and on Monday, we had a new furnace put in. Some things you can do. Schedule a clean and tune for your heating equipment to be ready. If your system is old and outdated, the team at Collis can help you save on the replacement. They have an entire team dedicated to walking their customers, through the various state utility and manufacturers incentives out there and rebates. We had one of those rebates, and it's a highly efficient furnace, which the government loves. So there are government rebates and grants that are out there to make you make that move and improve the heating in your home. And I know the salesperson wants me to say this, but I'm not a tell 'em Bill sent you type person. Right? Remember Hank? Tell him Hank sent you. Yeah, I'm. So don't say that. Don't say, but you can say you heard us talking about it over there when you talk to them. But just don't tell him Hank sent you. Actually, yes, tell him Hank sent you. Tell him Hank sent you.
Yes.
By the way,
thank you very much.
Tell them Hank sent you. They'll know what it means. Collis, by the way, was just named Contractor of the Month by National Grid for helping their customers achieve the highest in energy savings. I don't know much about that. That's very impressive, but all I know is for us, they are the best, and there's nobody any better. Fred F. Collis and Sons, heating, cooling, and insulation. Tell them Hank sent you.
This comes from another Bill. And I can tell you, Bill sent this.
Okay.
This is Bill Morehouse, the Utica City Comptroller.
I can't believe he sent me a picture of the OD today, and it has last night's TV listings in it. I can't even believe that. Okay, go ahead.
Jeff, and again, I think we're addressing this to me because I said I didn't think Trump can win. But if they're the two candidates, I guess they can win. I guess Trump can win. Jeff, Trump is going to win people. Going to win. He doesn't have punctuation in here. Trump is going to win. People don't realize he was attacked for 4 years ruthlessly. He went from 62 million to 74 million votes. He's got 12 million more votes. I expect him to get another 12 million more and get about 86 million this next time. Trump will be the next president of the United States. Again.
Okay. I believe that's what you said last time, Bill, but good luck with that. I hope we can have another January 6th. That would be great, too. That always, keeps the blood flowing for everybody in the country. You don't want to feel too comfortable when you're sitting in Congress.
You don't want those members of Congress being comfortable.
At any point, you want to know somebody come plowing through a window and threaten to kill you. That's what we want.
With an umbrella.
Let's do it. Bill. Such a loyal Democrat. Ryan Schmell is on the line right now. Ryan from Fox News. I'm sorry, Ryan, you had to hear this. I apologize.
You're good.
My apologies. I won't drag you into it, I promise. So the war of words between McCarthy and Gates. This is a battle here.
It certainly is.
And McCarthy's going to need
that battle.
He's going to need some Democrats. I think the McCarthy's going to need some Democrats here.
He likely will. And what he needs Democrats to do is either decide that they're going to vote present or just not vote at all, or to vote for him. So I think we'll find out later today what Democrats are kind of planning to do as a united front. Some have already said they would vote for the motion to vacate, but not a lot of them. So this is going to be really something we have to watch for.
What do you and you know? Listen, they've changed the rules to make this very easy to accomplish.
Correct.
And
yes.
obviously, this is all over the fact that McCarthy put a deal together and was able to keep the government open. I almost feel like would we have been better off having the government shut down just to see how bad it was really going to be?
Yeah, it's hard to know, but ultimately McCarthy's decision to put a clean CR on the floor and to do it on a very short amount of notice angered a lot of Republicans, particularly Matt Gaetz, and there are some who are still considering that motion to vacate over that. So McCarthy certainly ruffled a little bit of feathers, but the Republican Party is still heavily in his favor.
And then when will this vote come? When does this happen?
So it has to happen within the next 48 hours after Gaetz formally filed the motion. So it could happen today or it could happen tomorrow. It's just going to happen between either that now and then.
Okay. All right. Interesting stuff. We'll keep an eye on it, Ryan. As always, thank you so much.
Hey, have a good one, guys. Thank you.
You do the same. Ryan Schmelz with Fox News Radio. Liberal Lou on the line right now. Lou, good morning. Haven't heard from you in a while. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Good morning. So, Jeff, got to ask Jeff a question.
All right.
I'm long-time listener to the show. Jeff's a stand-up guy. I know that. Kind of shocked me when he said he'd like to spend time with Trump in a bar.
No. Hold on. Can I just?
Did you read John Kelly's recent statement?
I didn't. Hang on. Let me clarify, though. Let me clarify what I said.
About our war dead, how they're a bunch of suckers. What he thinks about our democracy, how it's meaningless to him, how he loves dictators. I mean, would you really want to sit next to that guy in a bar?
Hold on. Okay, Lou. What I said was, and I had said this previously, I said it again today. I said he should be running for the most popular guy at the bar because he says things that are not politically correct and not appropriate. Now, to your point that you made, I agree. What he said about American soldiers who being captured. You
don't have to listen to what he said. I mean, what are you doing?
Well, no, what he said, I think it's disgusting. And the things he said about McCain.
But he just said that.
Who was an American hero, John McCain, when he ran against him. I think that was disgusting. I think when he...
Come on.
When he ran for... You're losing me, Bill. Did you read John Kelly's statement?
Okay.
He's being sarcastic. He's being sarcastic.
Sit down. Let Jeff keep going.
He did the thing that he denied. There was, I believe it was... a Hispanic reporter who had some difficulties. I don't want to say the wrong term, but he had some
he was
medical conditions.
In the wheelchair?
Yeah. And he got up in front of a stage of people.
Back.
Yeah, and he was doing this thing where he
kinked
his wrists and his arms on his chest. That stuff is disgusting. I don't think that is appropriate, or I'll say the term again, becoming of a president. I think that is absolutely disgusting and despicable.
I don't think it's becoming of a human being.
Well,
I thought Trump was done when he started his campaign by saying the Mexicans are mostly criminals, rapists, and murderers.
Well, I don't think he actually said that. But
that took hold. People like that. That was a speech he would give at all of his rallies.
Okay.
Mexicans, think about that. Mexicans are criminals, mostly criminals, most of them, criminals, rapists, and murderers. And he actually got a third of Hispanic vote after making that statement.
So,
it boggles my mind.
So Lou,
just incredible. I love Bill Morehouse, the great Democrat.
Lou, but would you be happier?
I think he's a little bit clueless into the party he
belongs
to.
Lou, hold on.
That's another issue. But
okay,
Donald
Lou?
Trump, all of his top advisors have left calling him a moron. saying he's a fool, he's incompetent, he doesn't understand anything about government, he's just an incredibly stupid human being. I'm talking about all his generals, all his great generals.
Lou,
They all quit
he's
after
right.
a year or
He's
two
right.
and came out and said the guy is a clown. He's incompetent. And you guys still would vote for him over anybody.
Hold on.
Joe
Hold on.
Biden
Stop. Wait. Hold on. You are
let you guys do this.
100% right in what you just said. I don't disagree with a word you just said, but I'm just going to counter and tell you why some people would still vote Trump over Biden. 4 years ago when he was running for president, Joe Biden said, if you don't vote for him, African Americans, you ain't black. Go back to the 1970s. He said, I have to have my child, when they were had black students and white students going to the same schools, he said, I don't want my kid growing up in a racial jungle. What about those statements?
Well, you're digging deep and far away. Yeah, I mean, when he tells people that you're not black, he's telling them what he's telling them is you're voting against your own self-interest. That's what he's saying.
Okay, now let me counter with a fact.
Oh, I'm back. You guys are still arguing.
You vote Republican. I mean, it's obvious to me.
Let me
you're
counter with a
voting against
fact.
Your own self-interest. Same thing if you're gay, if you're lesbian.
Let me counter with a fact.
Many do. There's a log cabin society of Republicans, devoted Republican gay people.
It has been said.
It's to me how they could be Republican.
Davey, I'm going to have an omelet for breakfast as soon as I get out of here.
In any way,
some cheese, little Frank's Red Hot on top.
Did you know?
I think so. Joe Biden was. You're going back like 40 years when the busing issue was up, and Americans rightfully didn't want their kids bussed around.
It wasn't about busing. It wasn't.
Hold on. Jeff, stop. Lou.
They're two whole different worlds on the planet. I mean, this guy's proud of this thing. I'm sure Biden would deny that statement that he said back then. So he shouldn't have said it.
Lou, hold on tight. Hold on tight.
Go ahead.
Stop. Everybody stop for a second. Because I don't want to argue about this. We could be arguing till the cows come home. But the fact is, Lou, there are the majority of Republicans, the majority of Republicans still support. It's not the same. It's not as large as it was. But it's still, the majority of Republicans still support him and want him to be the nominee.
That's fact. 7 or 8% don't. That was a huge fact. Last election, that was a huge critical reason that Biden won, because he got 7 or 8% of Republicans to vote for him in the last election. Actually, Democratic turnout was not that great.
But
for Joe Biden.
in fairness, Lou, don't you though agree that Biden has aged so much in the last 3.5 years? I mean, if you go back and look at campaign speeches 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah, he has aged, but his administration...
I understand, but listen, just let me finish.
Quitting saying he's a clown,
or don't.
He's a buffoon. He has great people in place. He doesn't have to be running around the country doing handstands and somersaults. He has to put in place a team. That's what the executive office is. It's a team of hundreds and thousands of people, competent people.
I did not know that.
All the competent people Trump appointed left him, and on leaving said it's a disaster. It's a clown show.
Okay.
Most of the people he had left over are incompetents. I mean, he's got the D and F people. All of his B and C people are gone. I mean, do I have to name the list? You can't show me one person in the Biden executive office who left decrying Joe Biden, saying it's incompetent, he's a fool, he's a clown. No, just the opposite. They're saying what Biden's doing is phenomenal for the country, and I disagree with you about the economy. The economy is doing excellent. Just people, for some reason, on all the polls, Bill. They ask people about the economy. They say it's doing very poorly.
17% inflation.
Polls, they ask the people, 17%? How are you doing economically?
Listen.
Oh, they all say, well, I'm doing great.
Okay,
for some
Lou,
reason,
hold on for a second. Hold on. You know that I've talked about this before with you. Our economy is doing so much better than the rest of the world. There's no doubt about it. But at the same time, when Americans are paying more for groceries and more for gas and more for this, that, and the other thing, it is going to have an effect. And it doesn't matter what the truth is. It matters how people feel. And that is going to be on Biden going, let me finish, for God's sakes. That's going to be on Biden if he runs. But all I'm saying is, as a Democrat, wouldn't you rather have another candidate than Biden?
Coming out of COVID economically.
He was still talking.
Economics is a disaster. Their inflation is the highest in Europe. I mean, no, the Republican conservative policies aren't going to help this country.
You're just repeating what I already just said. I said it.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm just trying to point out to the people that a conservative government in Europe has done horribly. In recovery.
Okay.
As a comparison.
There's no doubt about it. There is absolutely no doubt about it. We are this economy has bounced back, but people don't feel it. And that's going to be the problem, whether you like it or not. For Biden, it's going to be a problem.
There's a huge disconnect. But like I say, in the polls, people do feel it personally, but they say in general, the country it's not happening. They think, but it is happening. Let me throw one more figure at you before I go. Biden already, like Trump's big thing was jobs, especially manufacturing jobs. Biden has already doubled Trump's manufacturing jobs created in his time in office that Trump had. One area.
All right, Lou, we appreciate your time, even though it frustrates me.
Well, why would it frustrate you, Bill? I mean, I'm frustrated when somebody says Trump would be a popular guy at a bar. I think he's a disgrace. I would shun him at a bar before I shunned anybody. I mean, the guy's a downright clown.
All right, Lou, we do appreciate your opinion, Liberal Lou. Thank you.
Let me ask you one last question. Why am I frustrating you?
Because you won't listen and stop talking.
Oh, I'm just trying to get my points out. I have a couple minutes.
I know.
Sorry about that.
No worries.
Cut you off.
Have a wonderful day. Thank you, Lou. Okay.
I've decided, but I won't.
I've decided I'm just going to be honest from here on in. I'm just going to be completely honest. If somebody asks me, I'm going to be honest.
There's several things I'd like to say in response to Lou, but I'm actually not going to say anything because I know Bill wants to move on. But instead, I want to share comments from listeners. Can I share those instead?
Can we do this first?
Go ahead. Okay. We'll get to the response to Lou coming up in a minute.
All right. Fair enough.
I've got like 8-9 people here chiming in.
Okay. Dr. Shahan Chowdhury. Do I get that right, Davey?
Yes.
Yeah. Doc, good morning. Thanks for coming on. My stress level has reached an enormous high. How can you help me here? I don't know what to do.
How do I follow that act? Oh, my gosh.
I do
Thank
not
you
know.
for having me.
Well,
you know what? Maybe honesty is a good way to relieve some of that stress, right?
I think it has to be, yeah. Because to be honest with you, I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of opinions, and, I just feel like we are in such a place in this world right now where I find myself often saying, you know what? I don't want to talk about it. And I hate to say that, but that's where I feel today. It is because we are so divided and so argumentative over politics and stuff. I don't want to talk about it. And so, can we completely switch gears? You are you're a doctor, and you have a medicine practice. I believe it's. Am I correct in saying it's in Texas? Yeah. And you deal in people's stress levels, which had to be rising just a few seconds ago. Stressful work environments do more long-term harm than we would probably ever believe. Is that a true statement, or am I full of it, which is what Lou would say?
No, you're not full of it, not at all. But no, you're right. I think intuitively we all know that too much stress is not good for
True.
all of that, and confirmed some of our worries about it, said that when they looked at certain people in an office-based job that was experiencing certain stress like job strain or were working so hard but weren't getting recognized for it, they found that it increases the risk for heart disease by almost 50% for men. And that's kind of startling. So, yeah,
you're breaking up. Yeah, you're breaking up.
Blood pressure.
Right.
It raises our blood pressure. It raises our heart rate. It gets hormones going which aren't appropriate, like a lot of cortisol going on, and it's in that fight or flight mode, you know, where you feel like you're going to be chased or something. And so having that all the time, every day,
yeah.
I mean, after all, most Americans, they spend most of their waking hours working. That's a lot of damage.
It is. And, you know, I was watching this, there's a 4-part series on, I believe, Netflix called Live to 100, Secrets of the Blue Zones. Are you familiar with that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
And in Okinawa, Japan, there was a woman who's over 100 years old, and there's this high concentration in these parts, they call them blue zones, in like 5 or 6 parts around the world, including one place in the United States where there are a high concentration of people living over to 100. And this woman, this Japanese woman said, the key to her life is happiness, laughing with others, low stress, happiness, not worrying about the little things that get everybody going. And I think that's exactly what you're talking about.
I think it's a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, let's face it, all these people in the blue zones, they're not working a 9-to-5 job with a boss over our shoulders. So that's one thing. But they are eating better. They're moving.
Their moods are better. Yeah.
You know, and they're having a good laugh with their friends and family. These are things that I feel like we're beginning to lose touch with because we're so intent on, like you said, politics, this, that, everything. I think we're losing our focus of what is life.
I think you're absolutely right. And it's so funny that you came on. You were able to listen to some of that stress right here on the radio. Craziness.
I did. And I have to say, my heart rate was going up. But then, you know, absolutely perfect. You used dry humor. And suddenly everybody started laughing.
Well, I had to try to do something,
Well, you know what? That's a great mechanism to deal with stress is humor. They say intelligent people are very humorous. You know that.
Well, I do know that. Me and you, Doc.
It's you and I. It's you and I, Bill.
You have
babe. Yeah.
You have a wonderful day, Doc. Thank you so much. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Have a great day and be stress-free. Stress-free. All right. Manansky wants to read comments. Can I take a break before we do that?
Yes. Before we do that, though, can I just give the code? Because I forgot again. I forget every single day.
This is the cash code, and it could be real money for you. $100 on the line today, bought the grand prize, $30,000.
Later this month.
They say win Keeler's cash, which I laugh at every time I hear, but good luck with that. Okay, go ahead.
527. 527 is your 8 a.m. code. I'll have another one in the 9 a.m. news.
The number
527.
5, the number 2, and the number 7. You'll enter it on our website. Look for win Keeler's cash and enter it there. And $100 today and $30,000 on the line.
I have more than a dozen comments rebutting Lou, and we'll get to those coming up.
8:37. We'll get into all of that coming up in a second. Hold tight. It's First News Keeler in the morning on WYBX.
John and Marie heard about Mattress Express's newest promotion where you simply stop in, perform a simple comfort test, and get a prepaid $25 Visa card. They went to Mattress Express's location in New Hartford on Commercial Drive next to Pet Supplies Plus. They tried Tempur-Pedic. They tried Stearns & Foster. They tried the 9 different purple mattresses. They loved them all. They settled on the Q9 King number bed by Instant Comfort in a flex head. John liked his side firm. We set it to 40, elevated his head and feet, said he'd never been more comfortable. Marie liked her side softer. She was an 18. What a difference. Elevated her head a little higher, her feet a little less. They said it was like they were each in their own custom bed. They qualified and signed up for the 5 years, no interest, no money down, did not give us a nickel up front. They, for their luxury rewards, selected a 75-inch flat screen TV. Hurry, this is a limited time offer. Come to any Mattress Express, perform a simple comfort test, and get a $25 prepaid Visa card.
It's obvious. The unthinkable is going to happen soon. With all the distractions in the media, we probably won't see it coming. Your gut tells you there's something very wrong going on, and all the evidence suggests that there is. Those in charge say everything's fine. Stop noticing. But you know better. American families are preparing. Folks are getting into self-reliance and investing in emergency food storage. My Patriot Supply, the nation's largest emergency preparedness company, is the place you can trust. Go to MyPatriotSupply.com and secure their best-selling 3-month emergency food kits. Each contains tasty breakfasts, lunches, and dinners, averaging over 2,000 calories per day. Get at least one food kit for each family member. For a limited time, save 25%, plus get free shipping on all their 3-month emergency food kits. Go to mypatriotsupply.com today. Order by 3 p.m. and your items ship the same day. It's time to prepare for what's coming. mypatriotsupply.com.
Go green and save green right now at City Suburban. There has never been a better way to heat and cool your home than with a new Mitsubishi electric heat pump system from City Suburban. They provide energy-efficient comfort year-round, are whisper quiet, 40% more efficient than conventional systems, and offer room-by-room temperature control. And the best part is right now you can save up to $9,000 in rebates with the New York State Clean Heat Program while funds are available. Go green and make the switch today. And as always, receive City Suburban's POMG. That's peace of mind guarantee.
This is Chris from City Suburban on Route 233 in Westmoreland. There has never been a better time to upgrade your system than right now. You can save up to $9,000 with New York State Clean Heat rebates and make your home more comfortable and efficient for years to come. Call us today at 853-3899. That's 853-3899. Or visit us at citysuburban.com.
Happy birthday.
Hey, take a look outside.
No way! An electric bike? Can I take it for a ride?
We have a car versus electric bike crash on Main Street. Victim is a 17-year-old male and unresponsive. No sign of helmet use.
Don't let your gift become your grief. Work together. Learn about controlling an e-bike and operating it safely before they ride. Wear a helmet. Be careful in traffic. Slow down and follow the rules of the road. A message brought to you by the Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
A stab, Jeff, out of this, if you could. I think I could use that. Steve Punny Mazda, Ricky Z. Love the CX-90. I just cannot thank him enough. And Wyatt over there and all the wonderful people, the employees over there who treat you so very well. They make it easy for you to buy a vehicle, to lease a vehicle, and they just make that experience so easy. And when you need help, you're getting service done, et cetera, they have you covered. And there are so many Mazdas flying out the door over there, driving off the lot, that it's opened the door for pre-owned vehicles that are being traded in, which means they have an enormous lot filled with an enormous stock of solid pre-owned vehicles. And right now, all different makes and models under one roof that you can take advantage of that have been taken in on trade. So they want to offer you one location, all makes and models, with Mazdas, Hondas, Subarus, Jeeps, GMC Dodge, Hyundais, and more. All you need is one stop, and you get all these different brands, all these different models. If you need a lower price or payment, just say, Rick, I need a lower price or payment. And it's let's make your deal where it's easy to do business. One location, all makes and models, Steve Ponte Mazda Commercial Drive in Yorkville.
First News with Keeler in the morning on WIBX.
I was hoping this would start on time. There it is. We did this earlier. I'm going to try it again. La 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 Pola. I gave money to the Pola the other day, and he went and he spent it. What did he do with the money? I do not. Now that there's the FBI coming in, but I think there might be room for something with this Little La Bamba, Richie Valens parody.
You are excellent at parodies.
Poorly sung, and I apologize for that. But maybe we'll work on it later. We'll see. There might be something there. Please, you have comments on Lou. Lou just gets people going. And I understand his frustration, but he's frustrated because other people don't see it the way he sees it. And you can't let that happen. You can't be bothered that other people don't see what you see.
Correct.
I guess you can shake your head, but if you let that bother you, it's the stress that woman was talking about that'll drive you nuts.
Right.
You just got to be like, and listen, I don't have the same philosophies and politics that other people might have. I have my own strong, very strong beliefs. But some people want to fight. Like, I think, imagine to make it football. Okay, the Bills are going to play Jacksonville in London. Is that who they're playing on Sunday?
Yes, Sunday morning, yeah.
It's going to be early, 9:30. So imagine getting into a fight with somebody, and they're like, the Bills are going to win. No, the Jacksonville is going to win. The Jaguars are going to win. And then you're fighting over who's going to win. None of you know the outcome of this game. You do not. You can make the predictions till the cows come home. You do not know the outcome. Why are you fighting over what you do not even know and is a year away from happening. What are you fighting over? Do you think you're going to convince the other side to be like, you know what, I just decided? I'm with you. I don't think you're convincing anybody. Why are you wasting the breath that is so precious from your lungs? Why are you wasting it on this conversation?
So you don't want to hear the listener
understand.
comments.
They get angry at Lou, and I get it, and let them vent. But my point is, you're two people, you decide you're going to watch a football game, and instead of the game, you're arguing over politics. What in the hell are you thinking about? Don't waste your time over it.
Also, politics has become almost like a team sport where you are willing to point out the penalties that the other team has made, yet you overlook your own.
Too many gamers today. Way too many gamers.
Yeah.
You think your team is the best no matter what, and you do not see any of the flaws or are unwilling to admit those flaws.
All right.
And that's on both sides, I just think.
Via the app, and I'll go through this quickly.
I have a ton here, too, but go ahead.
Christine says Bill, not only does he frustrate you, but he's frustrating to your listeners as well. Debin Remsen says, our economy stinks. Ask anyone that heats with fuel oil. Chris in New Hartford, I'll take an awful Trump any day over an awful Biden. Steve says just simply goodbye, Lou. Deeds says Lou needs to sit down with Donald Trump and have a chat. And I'm going to go to my phone here. I got some good comments here.
That would be an interesting chat.
Joe says liberal Lou is an idiot and painful to listen to. I don't think Lou is an idiot. I just think he sees things differently than maybe I do. Let's see here.
Well, he's got to let things go.
Paul says, I commend you on correcting Bill's syntax with you and I. Greeley Ford, who, again, the whole comment came up about what he said about the black economy thing. Lou referenced this. Greeley says, tell Lou that you know someone who is black, and his defense of Biden's comments on being black disqualifies his opinion on anything else. Greeley also said, and there is no recording or proof that Trump said the war dead are losers. It's another unsubstantiated rumor. Now, I do believe,
the problem is you have a lot of unsubstantiated rumors coming from military generals. One who just made a comment, Milley, made a comment in retirement, oh, he's a liberal wacko. Not really. But just basically said, I'm sorry, we take our orders from the, that's not how he worded it. I forget how he worded it. But we don't take our orders from a wannabe dictator, was his comment. And there's several other military people, high up military people, who have been very critical of Donald Trump. But with all of that said, you get to weigh all the information. If that's what you think is okay, then I guess that's what you think is okay. If Biden is what you think is the answer, because it seems like those two are going to be our choices, then let's go at it. It's time for a football game. And next year, we will see as the primaries begin, and will Trump return as president? I'm personally do not think so. However, I don't know that Biden's going to make it to the end.
Paul Buckley says in the correction there, he said, I also wanted to say, well done, use guys.
Use guys. Thank you, Paul.
And then Bill Morehouse, city
Sweetheart.
controller, who is a Democrat. He's got a jab here at you.
That's so funny when you say that.
He jabs at you here. Tell Lou I'm a conservative, pro-life Democrat. We are the party who accepts everybody, even me. And that was Bill referring to himself. And then he said, tell Bill, meaning you.
Technically, yes.
Unfortunately for him, they don't have a cure for Trump derangement syndrome.
Listen, I have my belief on Trump, and I've drawn my own lines, Bill. I have a intelligent opinion and have done my own research and have watched this for the last how many years? 6 years now?
Yeah,
7
6,
years.
8, 7.
So I do have my opinion, but the last thing I'm going to do is come on the radio every morning and start spewing and being Lou. I'm not doing that. Nobody wants to hear my opinion on. We're a local radio show that most often talks about local issues that affect us every single day. The national political scene, there are places to go for that. As a matter of fact, in about 8 minutes, it'll start right here. But it's not coming from me. And you don't hear it from me every single day. But, Bill, I don't understand why you're so bothered by my opinion, which I believe is absolutely, unequivocally correct.
You always do.
Period. Don't you think that I'm wavering a moment, a little splinter? I'm not. I'm just not willing to sit here and puke over it all day, every single day, day in and day out. That's not what we do here. And that's it. And if you don't like it, you know what you can do.
Chris says, tell Lou to shave or try decaf coffee. And
what's the shaving come? Where does that come in?
I'm trying something different, I guess. I don't know.
Okay, all right.
I don't know.
The decaf I get. The shaving I don't necessarily get.
The other thing is, I will say, and I've obviously given my opinion quite a bit here this morning, and thank you for allowing me to do that. Trump derangement syndrome is a real thing, but I do not think that Keeler suffers from that by any regard.
I really like to look at performance in history. Has nothing to do with some fantasy that there's a hatred deep inside. Has nothing to do with that. And I have my own beliefs. Who are you to tell me I'm wrong? Shut the hell up. I'm not telling you. I'm not interfering in your space. Do not interfere in mine.
And while I disagree with Lou
That's
clearly...
how I feel about politics today. No matter what side you're on. You know, you intercept and you start pushing your beliefs on somebody else, get off my porch.
Absolutely. And while I disagree with Lou on a lot of things, I'll tell you I'm a big fan of Lou, and I'd like to have lunch with him someday. So,
all right. Well, I do enjoy Lou getting everybody fired up. He's very good at that. He is not good at listening.
No.
And I got a bunch of comments on all that, and I won't even get into it.
Well, come on. People want to be heard. I'm sure these are good comments.
Good, but the gas was $2 under Trump. And listen, I'm not even getting into that. All I can tell you is a post-COVID economy right now, it is not as horrible as everybody thinks it is. And our inflation it pales in comparison to what is being dealt with around the rest of the world. But at the end of the day, paying $4 for gas isn't fun. Paying, for whatever you're paying for your tomatoes, that's a stress on people. And for people who are counting pennies and investments, right? You worry about your investments, and that's been up and down. At the end of the day, that Biden's got to own that. This economy is Joe Biden's. And if people aren't happy with the economy, you can't sit there and say, yeah, but look at how it compares to the rest of the world. That's not going to get him anywhere. People are not happy about the economy. It's going to hurt him, I think, tremendously in the upcoming election.
One more,
Just
Scott.
my little take on it.
Scott Moon says, I'd love to have a beer at the bar with Lou, Jeff, and Trump. That would be a good night. I'm telling you, we'd have a great time.
The cocktails would be flowing. And maybe Trump would bring in some cheeseburgers. Nothing like a good McDonald's cheeseburger after you've had a few cocktails. All right, let me do this. We'll come back. And do I have to break now, or can I do one break?
I'll go right ahead.
Let me tell you about Omni. If you have severe back pain, shoulder pain, neck pain, whatever your pain might be. I have an amazing success story with my dad, who Dr. Hyder strategically looked at his situation, looked at his MRI, the X-rays, looked at his back, and strategically worked on improving and eliminating the pain. And it worked. Miraculously, it worked. And that came after a couple of falls. He lost so much strength and is building back up and doing incredibly well. But a lot is owed to Dr. Hyder and the Omni Surgery Center. If you're living with pain, you do not have to live with pain. The website is killpain.com. You do not have to live with the pain. Call today and schedule an appointment. Strategic and somewhat miraculous, I have to say, our personal experience with Dr. Hyder and the Omni Surgery Center. Call today at 315-765-8448. Omni Surgery Center, the website is killpain.com. I'm going to take these calls cold because Davey's not in there. So go ahead with what you have, and then if you want to come on and pipe in, stand by. I'll get to you in a second.
No, go ahead. I'd encourage everybody to hop on the YouTube stream. It's simple. It doesn't cost anything. It's a live stream. Good morning. I'm waving live as it happens.
Ton of comments on YouTube as
there.
well.
Check them out and respond right there.
Yeah. Man, they love Lou. Wow. Hi, good morning. You're on the radio.
Yes, I just want to let you know that Donald Trump does not drink. So anybody who wants to go to the bar.
That's a good point. He's not a drinker. which is why I
He's
added
never been a drinker.
That's why I added the cheeseburgers. He does like cheeseburgers.
You're right. Okay,
He
we'll go to
does
McDonald's.
cheeseburgers, but he does not drink. He never drank alcohol.
That is, I
That's a
believe
good point.
his brother was an alcoholic and actually passed away, right? I believe that.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
So you
All
want
right.
to put that out to the people. Okay.
I'll put it out to the people.
Great point.
All right.
Thank you. So your analogy of going to the bar with him probably wasn't a very good analogy. Can I move on, or do you?
All right. I'd like to go to McDonald's and have a diet soda with Donald Trump. Okay.
All right. Fair enough. Let's see. I want to leave you with just a couple of stories that are out there that are worth getting into. I loved the story this morning about the pill that eliminates exercise. And if you don't think that's going to change people's lives, then you got another thing coming. Here's another story that's out there. This is a Fox story. I don't know. We had our shortages of what during COVID? Toilet paper. You couldn't buy toilet paper. You couldn't get Clorox wipes. You couldn't get
not Febreze.
There were
I meant
so
the
many
spray and
products
disinfectant
that you couldn't get, and you still can't get Grandma Brown beans, which is shameful. Right now, there is a new shortage, and it's involving the military. According to an Instagram message to the troops, General Eric Smith addressed service members' concerns over an inability to find and purchase camouflage. There is an ongoing, this is real, a manufacturing shortage of camouflage.
Is it because we make it in a different country and it's on some ship that's stuck in the water?
Could very well be. He announced that this is the problem that continues. Local members will be allowed to wear alternate uniforms contrary to Marine standards. That problem is going to stay with us until the fall of 2024, when the manufacturer can fill the backlog that has been created after COVID. Until that time, local commanders, battalions, and squadrons are authorized to use FROG, flame-resistant organizational gear, or desert-colored camis to mitigate, he said. He added, what we cannot have is a situation where a Marine is wearing unserviceable camis, because that looks bad for the Corps, and we can't have a situation where the Marine is being given a hard time about those unserviceable camis. We're going to get this fixed, but it's going to take a little while. They are predicting it'll take until the fall of next year to fill the orders. Camouflage.
I hope you certainly don't ever want to see a situation like this put military members at risk. So are we saying, like, for instance, if they're hiding in a bush, they're easy to spot? Or are we just talking about...
So the desert camouflage is different than the green camouflage.
Sure.
So they're allowed to wear the desert camouflage, I believe. And then one more. Scientists have finally discovered, and then I'll leave you alone and we're out the door. Scientists have finally discovered why when you're on a road trip and you're in the final stretch, you pull into the driveway and you unpack the car, but suddenly you have to do what? Urinate. It's a thing, and really badly oftentimes. You didn't have to go a mile down the road, but now you're reaching your place and you have to go. They're saying there's a scientific reason for it. It's a condition known as latchkey incontinence, which is a urinary urge triggered by habits. It's habits. You get home, you immediately go to the bathroom, and you urinate. It's habitual. It is not necessarily something that you really have to do. You probably, if you weren't thinking about it, you probably wouldn't even have to do it.
That's interesting.
That's what they say. In other words, take it how you want. It's all in your head. Gotta go. We're back here tomorrow morning. Enjoy your day. Kyle, the news is next.
Want to avoid extreme energy bills? Turn down your thermostat with a new Ruud energy-efficient furnace. Smart folks just choose Ruud for efficient heating equipment for your home and your budget. Get comfortable with Ruud and call Tri-County Heating at 315-829-4100 or check out their website, tri-countyheating.com.
The Community Foundation of Herkimer and Oneida Counties is your community foundation. Together, we've invested $125 million in the community, thanks to people, families, and businesses that want to give back and build a brighter future. And you don't have to have big bucks to make a big difference. Join us as we invest in the future of our community.